It's game 2 of yet another pivotal SEC series here in Austin. Longhorns took game 1 last night, but Justin LeBron and the Alabama Crimson Tide hope to even things up and force a rubber game tomorrow. It was all Texas from the outset. Carson Tinney got it going at the bottom of the first with a 2-run blast, and the Longhorns would not look back in the 10-2 victory over the Tide. Dylan Volantis dominant in his 6 innings of work to get the win. Welcome to UFCU Dish Falk Field with Ty Harrington. I'm David Salzman. So usually when a team gets 16 hits, the offense is the biggest story, but last night really was the Dylan Volantis show.
It was. I mean, look, his assorted breakers last night, we think of power pitchers with fastballs, 95 miles an hour. It was the power breakers. As you get a look at the 2 different types of slider and then the bigger curveball, it was a weapon for him all night with tremendous power and command.
Yeah, the first batter he faced, he struck out on 3 pitches, and that was a sign of things to come. In fact, a career-high 12 strikeouts for Volantis in the start, just having to go 6 innings to get that career high. The end the Texas win, which put the Longhorns at 10-5 in the SEC. So from Dylan Volantis to the man who had been the Friday starter until this weekend, Ruger Riojas on the hill for Texas.
Yeah, it's fascinating to me, being around this industry for a long time. You got a guy going to the mound that's got 8 different types of pitches that he can command, not just wants to be pitches. They're real. As you get a look at it, it's a 92 to 95 mile an hour fastball, a breaker, a splitter, or 2 different breakers, and then a sidearm action as well. But loves to compete and loves when he's out there on the mound.
And notice the strikeout to walk ratio almost 7-1, 72 strikeouts in 47 2/3 innings of work. Here's the lineup that Riojas will face. Same top of the order in Bryce Fowler, the future first-round draft pick Justin LeBron, and Brady Neal. Bottom of the order has 3 changes after hitters 5 through 9 last night went 0 for 16 in the loss to Texas. And so ready to go, an earlier start than originally scheduled, 2 hours earlier, with rain expected here in Austin by the late afternoon, early evening. Bryce Fowler takes the first pitch ball, and we are underway from Dish Falk Field. 5th-year senior from Madison, Mississippi, batting .329. That's second among Crimson Tide regulars. 5 home runs and 28 runs batted in.
Get our first look at his 4-seam fastball right out of the box. First 2 pitches. It's got tremendous carry to it at the end. I mean, it's almost like he gets halfway and explodes. And if you're going to try to go up in the zone and get to it as a hitter, you're going to have to get that top end working in early.
Strike call in this 1-2. The last time we saw Riojas here at Dish Falk Field, it was March 26. He threw 7 shutout innings in a 14-0 win over Oklahoma. Two and two the King.
You can see they're going to pull side shift on Fowler. With 3 defenders on the right side of second base, but leaving Rodriguez in his shortstop position. And a lot of teams don't. For some reason, they'll take their shortstop and move him into that second base, deep second base pull side. They leave him in short, which I think is a good idea. Why put 2 people out of position when you can just take your third baseman and shift him over? The beauty for Texas is you got 4 shortstops out there playing right now defensively.
Fowler stays alive. And look at the shift again. You know, a lot of times when you see shifts like this, the shortstop or whoever's on the left side of the field will play more in between second and third base. But look how close Rodriguez is to that second base bag.
Well, they're committed to the idea that he's going to pull anything on the ground. Now, in the air, it's different, but on the ground, that's their strategy defensive-wise.
Fowler's worked the count full.
It's the first splitter we've seen. It's going to be about 10 mile an hour off of his fastball, velocity-wise.
Fowler tied for the team lead in walks, coming in with 26. Here comes the payoff in the 8th pitch of the at-bat from Riojas.
scouting report too on Riojas for the opposing team, and if you just around Riojas and you watch enough, you can almost just say it's any pitch, any time, regardless of the count. So not surprised it was a slider in a 3-2 count.
Quite an at-bat to begin this one here this afternoon. 10th pitch of the at-bat coming from Riojas.
If you're Alabama, you got to love this. Your leadoff guy, we don't know what's going to happen. He gets on base or not, but you've taken 10 pitches after this one out of your starter on the first hitter.
Fouls this off.
It gets frustrating for pitchers. Hitters standing there and foul balls, and the pitchers get frustrated, and then eventually they'll try to outdo it or, you know, outsmart him, and they'll maybe run something out of the zone.
Fowler struck out on 3 pitches to begin last night. Here comes pitch 11 of this at bat. Appeal to third. No swing, and Fowler draws the walk.
Oh, it's just a great at bat. I mean, you get right down to it. 11 pitches out of the at bat and earns a walk. Riojas trying to go with that slider, that hard slider at 86 to 88 miles an hour. Didn't get him to chase it. He was hoping he was going to swing over the top of it.
Now a sure high first-round draft pick in this year's Major League Baseball draft, Justin LeBron. His offensive numbers down from his previous 2 seasons, but as you see, Golden Spikes Award semifinalist last year and a first-team freshman All-American in 2024 when he hit .350. He's hitting .272 coming into today, but with the team-high 12 home runs. 1-1 the count. And as you said multiple times last night about this Alabama offense, they just hit .264 as a team, but they are excellent in manufacturing runs. Fowler has 14 stolen bases as he takes his lead.
Yeah, and I got to think at some point they're going to try to activate the run game.
This is hammered to left center, base hit. Fowler on his way to third. LeBron takes the turn. Here he comes to second. He slides in and is out.
Well, this is just a great throw from Aiden Robbins, recognizing the lead runner was going to get to third. There was no way they were going to be able to get Fowler at third base. So your next option, David, is to make sure you keep second base clean, and he comes up firing to second. Mendoza does a really good job of positioning himself on the tag and being able to get LeBron at second base.
So LeBron single, but then out trying to extend that to second. It's the first out of the inning with Fowler on third, and now Alabama's best hitter this season, Brady Neal, swings and misses at the first offering from Riojas. Senior from Tallahassee, Florida, batting .371. Team leader in hits with 49, also 13 doubles, and his 7 home runs is second to LeBron's 12. One the count.
You see the sidearm action that Riojas brings into. That's a changeup that he likes to get this index finger and thumb over the top of and make it go left to right with sink to it.
Took something off there.
It's that splitter. It's not a big downward breaking tumbling splitter. It's more about the separation of velocity between 95 and 85. It's got just enough down action or fade action to it to get the hitters to swing and miss or get over the top of it.
Top foul.
So it's those moments too where Riojas will go to the top of the triangle, meaning the top of the zone with the four-seamer to try to get the hitters. They recognize elevation. It's hard for them to catch up because now you've got a chance for a strikeout. Texas is going to bring the right side of their defense in just at halfway. So if a hard hit ground ball now, you could throw him out at the plate.
The 1-2. This is hit well to right center field. It's going to drop. Fowler comes in to score. Neal on his way to second. The throw is off target, and an RBI double gives Alabama the early lead.
catches it. It looks like an elevated splitter that didn't do much, obviously, but it stayed up. Neal does a good job. We get another look at this. Yeah, you can see it spin away. You see how elevated it was. It was at the left shoulder of the catcher, Tenney. Well, he felt pretty good at that moment. Once you see as a hitter something elevated, you know for sure you're at least getting it to the outfield to get the guy in from third, but he comes up with a double.
Now Eric Hines. Good stop by Tenney behind the plate, 1-0. He's been a full-time starter for just over a couple of weeks, and the freshman has impressed. Sitting .357, 3 home runs, and 5 runs batted in. So top of the order, got all the hits last night, and making an impact early on in the first inning on this Saturday afternoon. 1-1 the count now. Hines went 1 for 4 last night in the 10-2 loss. Just missed inside. 2-1.
I think everybody, including the hitter, thought that ball broke back and caught the edge of the plate. It froze him like a front door slider. It kind of got him locked up a little bit. He played umpire, and Levin didn't think it came back enough.
Two and two the count. So you go back to the 12-pitch walk that Bryce Fowler drew. He was able to score on the Neal double. A 2-strike count here to Hines with 1 out in the top of the first. Just got a piece.
Alabama hitters so far with 2 strikes have gotten into some really good battles and been able to foul some of these balls off to stay alive. And as you mentioned, the 12th pitch at bat to start the game can get taxing and frustrating for the pitchers.
Here's the 25th pitch of the inning from Riojas. Got him. 2 down.
This breaker stays in on him. As he gets Hines to swing over the top, we get another look at it. A bit of a slider over the top. For a hitter, you see elevated just enough, you get excited, and it just moves to the left enough and down to get away from the barrel.
So now John Lim, 0 for 1 yesterday in a pinch hitter's role, starting a catcher this afternoon. First pitch strike to the senior from Brisbane, Australia. An amazing path to Tuscaloosa. Went to New Mexico Junior College in 2022, didn't play, so he transferred to South Suburban Community College in South Holland, Illinois. Played there 2 years. Went to Southern Illinois last season, hit 19 home runs, and now in Tuscaloosa in 2026. He's behind 0-2.
Yeah, perseverance can pay off in this game. It's an older game now. If you can hang in and find a place to get reps, things can turn out just like it has for Lim. They're trying to put the ball on top of him right now. That's 2 back-to-back 96 to 97 on our heaters from Riojas in on him. Let's see if they try to throw something secondary on that same inside line.
Swing and a miss. Riojas back-to-back strikeouts to end the first, but Alabama gets on the board early. Brady Neal's RBI double as the tied up with Texas coming to bat for the first time. Texas trailing for the first time this weekend, and here's the lineup that Jim Schlossnagle has brought out this afternoon here at UFCU Disch-Falk Field. Just a couple of changes after the 16-hit outburst last night. Aiden Robbins leads off for the second straight game, followed by Carson Tinney, Adrian Rodriguez, and Anthony Pack Jr., the freshman with a career-high 4 hits last night and the 10-2 win. Ethan Mendoza, Temo Becerra, and then Ashton Larson in the DH spot. We'll see him for the first time this weekend. Casey Borba at first, and Jaden Duplantier gets his first at bat of the weekend as well. He is batting 9th. They'll face Zane Adams, a Houston area product from Porter, Texas. That's just north of Houston. 4-2 on the season for the junior with an ERA of just over 4. And a very good strikeout to walk ratio of exactly 4. 52 strikeouts, just 13 walks allowed in 48 innings of work.
It's going to be, you see a 6-pitch mix. I mean, it's going to be 92 to 95. The average velos you see at 93, but his best pitch, what he likes to go, and he'll throw it to both sides of the plate, is going to be his changeup. He uses his breaker as a strikeout pitch at times, but the one he likes to go when he's at his best, it's going to be his changeup.
Rob Vaughn is from the Houston area, just like Zane Adams. He's from Humble. Led Alabama to 40 regular season wins last season, the most since 2002. Crimson Tide won their first 16 contests last year. Vaughn's 3rd season in Tuscaloosa after helping Maryland to back-to-back Big Ten Conference crowns in 2022 and 2023. So Aiden Robbins, we saw him lead off for the first time this season last night. He led out the bottom of the first with a double. Carson Tinney on deck, hit a 2-run blast, and it was all Texas from there. Leading the team in batting average at .368, slugging .757, an OPS of 1204, team high 15 home runs, and 41 runs batted in. He's behind 0-2.
Starting out aggressive with his fastball, back-to-back 94-mile-an-hour fastballs. First one in the middle part of the plate, second one down and in for Robbins. He's got good angle on it too. It's the first time I've seen him live.
Appeal to first and no swing, says Nathan Huber. 1-2. All in all last night, Robbins went 2 for 3 with a walk, 3 runs scored, and a run batted in.
Yeah, that's a good looking fastball. I mean, what I mean by angle, he gets his hand up, his fingers over the top, and when it comes out, it's going downhill. It's not a flat underneath base or fastball. It's tough for those hitters to get to the middle and the bottom of it when it's got that kind of life to it.
From 0-2, Robbins is worth the count full.
That's the first look at his changeup too. Robbins doing a good job of laying off of it. Both leadoff hitters getting to the full count for both teams offensively.
Here comes the payoff from Adams. To lead off the game, Bryce Fowler needed 12 pitches to get the walk, and he would later score an at-bat which took 4 minutes. Here's pitch number 7 from Adams to Aiden Robbins to lead off the bottom of the first. To the left side, diving to his left, Jason Torres on to first, not in time. An infield single for Robbins to begin the bottom half of the first inning.
Robbins is doing a good job getting this ball to the left side on the ground, but I think, truthfully, this may have been a ball for LeBron to get to because he's in the 5-hole. I think it would have been a positioning for him to come up throwing stronger than what Torres was able to when he left his feet. I think trying to get back up took some time away from it.
Hit number 54 for Robbins this season in his first at bat of game number 37. And so here's Carson Tinney. Mentioned the 2-run blast in the bottom of the first last night. That was to the opposite way. This one fouled off to the right. 8 home runs in the last 10 games for Tinney. He is hitting .560 his last 7 games, 14 to 25, and he told us last night it's the hottest stretch he's ever had. One and one.
I mean, do you call that a streak? I mean, that's even beyond a streak, right?
What would you call it then?
I don't know.
I'm trying to think of it too.
I mean, look, we only played 56 games regularly in college baseball, and he's got of those 8, 10 games, 8. I mean,
you're making me get my thesaurus out here.
No, I just, streak is, yeah, I mean, it's a streak. I mean, it is what it is. It just seems heavier or more impressive.
Gonna let Google do the work. Robbins going. Here's the throw down to second. Tag applied, and he's out.
Robbins didn't get a very good jump that time. I thought he was going to hold up because he was late getting out. I thought he was going to stop halfway. He put his head down and tried to go ahead and get in there, hoping maybe there'd be an offline throw, but they were able to get it to him in time for the out at second.
First time he's been caught stealing all year. He has 9 stolen bases. And now 1 down and the base is cleared, a 2-1 count.
There was 2 things involved there. I think one, he committed. It was not as good a jump as he historically gets, but I think he was also banking that was going to catch him in a changeup count, which was going to make it harder for the catcher, Lim, to make a good throw.
Tinney thought that was ball 4. Ben Levin calls the strike, and the count is full. So back-to-back full counts to Texas hitters here in the bottom of the first.
It's such a different day than what we had last night. The wind blowing out to left last night hard, and now that northern busted through here about a couple of hours ago, and that wind's blowing in from left across to right. It will carry down the foul line in right field. The big scoreboard out in right field, and to the right of it, third, just to the right, that light pole just to the right. From there over, that the Sporting Goods sign is, it'll carry that way. And you go out to left field or left center with it today, you've got your big boy pants on, because it's howling out there.
Tinney works the walk. It's a team high 32nd walk for Tinney. As you see, in 166 plate appearances, so he's 2 walks away from tying his output from all of last season at Notre Dame.
The walks impress me. I know some people feel differently about that. I don't. It's an opportunity to get on base and score runs. And when you've got that kind of eye, it also represents your plate discipline and the pitches that you think you can hit and that you can drive out of the ballpark or for doubles.
So Adrian Rodriguez returned last night from an 8-game layoff. His first 2 at-bats were singles. He would score in Texas's 3-run first. And the sophomore from Flower Mound, Texas, said after the game he had no pain in his hand throughout the contest. He was out a couple of weeks because after having off-season surgery, he had staples in his hand, part of the mending process, and they were flaring up. The flaring up didn't end, so took the staples out. And a couple of weeks later, he says he has felt as good as he's had all season.
Well, I think the idea he felt good yesterday. There's some adrenaline rolling through there too. What does it feel like today? And today and the next day, it's got to be the possibility of being a little sore, but he's so tough-minded.
Dribbler foul.
I mean, you go back to, if you watch the games earlier in the year, he would swing and just, have to take a half circle walk back around, just trying to get the pain to calm down so he could take the next pitch on. And, even fielding balls were, painful for him at times. But again, yesterday's the first time he's really probably got a full adrenaline, so you got, pitcher pressure on you, 90+ mile an hour on you, and his swings look fine. I thought his bat speed looked okay, but what does it feel like for him today, waking up and after putting a lot of his hand through it.
2-2. Yeah, it's been over a year now since the injury occurred when he was hit by a pitch at Missouri, March 28th of last season. You can see the look on his face as you watch that post-game press conference. I mean, excitement. He always says he's high energy, and it's true, but look of relief also how he felt. Big swing and a miss, and a snap throw to first. Tenney just slides in safely, but Rodriguez is the second out.
Hey, we got another look at this fastball. I mean, watch how this thing just gets, it just explodes. And what they're doing right now with the right-handed hitters, they're going to the third base side of home plate. And you see the snap throw down to first to try to get Tenney. But they're doing a pretty good, not a pretty good job, a good job at Adams right now. Those right-handed hitters putting the fastball on top of them.
So now Anthony Pack Jr. coming off his first 4-hit game of his Texas career. The freshman from Lakewood, California is on a 10-game hit streak. 5 of those games he's had multiple hits, and 5 of those games multiple RBIs. He's hitting .475 in his last 10 outings. Make it an 11-game hit streak. First and second, 2 outs.
Continues to impress everybody that has seen this guy play from his first game on. You heard about him, you know, if you're a Longhorn fan, all the way back into the fall. But he just continues to wear out that middle part of the field, telling you where his approach is. He's not trying to hook balls. He's not trying to pull balls. He's staying on them a long time. That's why he's tough to get out and tough to strike out.
Now Ethan Mendoza led off every game until last night. Hitting in the 5-hole for the second straight game. To the left side, Torres on to first, and that'll do it for Texas in the bottom half for the first. Couple of hits and a walk, but a key caught stealing, and Texas leaves 2. 1-0 Alabama in game 2 of this 3-game set. Rubber games today at the SEC, including in Gainesville. After last night, Auburn used 2 home runs from Mason McCrane to knock off Florida to even that series at a game apiece. Texas A&M went into Baton Rouge and routed LSU 10-4 in game 1 of that 3-game set. Jorian Wilson, a couple of home runs and 4 runs batted in for the red-hot Aggies. And Georgia, after losing game 1 Thursday in Fayetteville, came back to knock off the Razorbacks 5-3. Bulldogs 12-5 in the SEC. That leads the league. Texas and Texas A&M even in the loss column with Georgia at 10-5, tied for second. Ritter Riojas allowed a leadoff walk to Bryce Fowler, who would later score in a Brady Neal RBI double. And that's the only run so far in the early going. First baseman Andrew Purdy at the plate, and a 1-1 count. Purdy, a freshman, a breakout game Tuesday in a 12-6 win at UAB. 5 runs batted in, including a triple and a home run. No swing, 2-1 the count. Three other SEC games underway. We're getting started today 2 hours before our originally scheduled time. Count now 2-2. Rain expected in Austin late this afternoon into the early evening and beyond, but the cold front, as you said, Ty, has already come through. The wind blowing in. We were 84 degrees at first pitch last night. Right now we are at 67 degrees and it feels much cooler.
I can assure you it is cooler. It just feels it is. I think you see people in blankets, and it's confusing because if you don't really just pay real close attention to the weather and the temperature throughout the day. You showed up last night in shorts and flip-flops and a t-shirt, and back out today, and it feels like early March or late February.
Alabama hitters have done a good job so far staying alive in at-bats. We'll repeat, Bryce Fowler walking to begin the game, a 12-pitch at-bat. And right now with no outs, this is the leadoff hitter in the second. Ruger Riojas is up to 35 pitches already. By the way, it's only going to get cooler as the day goes on, so be ready. Full count.
The conversation we had with Coach Vaughn when he talked about his hitters with some of the pitchers they had faced this year, that they were able to create long counts and they wouldn't give in. They didn't chase. They foul balls off.
Third straight strikeout for Riojas, but he had to earn that one.
They're making him work right now. You look at that 37 pitches with only one out in the second inning. That's a high pitch count.
So again, the top of the standings has Georgia, followed by Texas and Texas A&M. Florida at 10-7. The difference between Florida in fourth place and Tennessee and Vanderbilt, who are tied for 12th, 2 losses. Gators 10-7, Volunteers and Commodores 7-9. Bottom 3, LSU 6-10, then South Carolina and Missouri.
And that's 2 things, but if you're an Aggie fan and Longhorn fan, is that the Florida game, that they're past them. If they played 2 games already this week, plus you missed the game last week. So when you start to add up the standings the rest of the way out, it's based on winning percentage. And anytime you have a series that loses a game or multiple games or however many you lose throughout the year, which is rare nowadays, it seems like, because of the facilities, a lot of them are turf and they're covered so well, it's part of the design to find out where you're going to be placed and or whether you win a conference championship. Your win-loss record is going to not look the same as the people around you.
They waited all day into the evening Sunday in College Station to try to get that series finale in, but a no-go, as Texas lost both games played to Texas A&M. No swings as Nathan Huber, and the 2-2 count now to Jason Torres.
I had grandeurs of, we had done a doubleheader on Saturday with Texas State so they could get their games in. I had grandeurs. I was going to wake up, go to church, and I was going to watch the Masters. I was going to watch Texas A&M, my favorite pub, and it was going to be a day.
Another full count to an Alabama hitter.
And that day ended up being a long night, waiting for it to finally come on, and it didn't. Finally, I just said I surrendered and just got in bed, went to sleep.
Yeah, I was out of town, and when I saw they extended the potential first pitch time to 9:30, I said, I'll find out tomorrow what happened. Swing and a miss. That's 4 straight strikeouts for Riojas, 2 down.
There's his 4-seamer. It's just got such good carry to it, especially when he goes to the top of the triangle right there at the catcher's mask, which is the top of it. It just gets her and it just explodes. You can see how tied up Torres' hands. He wasn't able to catch up to it in time. It is an explosive weapon.
76 strikeouts this season for Riojas in 49 1/3 innings. Now Justin Osterhaus getting the start in left field this afternoon. Off the fists, Rodriguez on to first and just got him. He said he's feeling as good as he has all season long, and Adrian Rodriguez, the nice play to end the top of the second.
He's going to show it to you right here with his defense. This has got to be a communication play because they're in a shift. Look at it. He goes over, calls him off, throws it on the run. just in time to Casey Borba.
The greatest show on dirt, and we are about to enter crunch time. Ty Harrington, now, under a month away, it's the SEC tournament, then regionals late next month, and of course Texas expected to be one of those 16 hosts the way their season has gone so far. 29-7, 21-2 at home, and 10-5 in the SEC. But it's Alabama with a 1-0 early lead as we start the bottom half of the second, and Tema Becerra leads things off for the Longhorns.
Now don't speed it up. I mean, this is like being on a great fishing day, college baseball season. Don't speed it up. Let's one day at a time. Let's hang in here. I know it is getting close, but
you sound like someone who coached for a long time.
Yeah, well, yeah. There were also scenes I was like, speed it up, but yeah. I mean, you get going. The anticipation of opening day, then opening day hits, and then you look up and you're 2 weeks in, but it's still non-conference. You're still figuring out things, and then. They're settled in now. I mean, obviously, we're the second half of the SEC conference and almost all the conferences across the country.
To the opposite way, and that'll fall in front of Brady Neal for a base hit. Leadoff single for Becerra.
This fastball was in on him. Becerra does a good job of being able to cut the ball off with his hands. Initial look at it was on the inner half of the plate. He does a good job of driving this ball the other way and getting the barrel to it in time as he drives it out to right field.
He has quietly been very valuable for this team. He's hitting just under 300. Took over at short with Adrian Rodriguez's injury. Has been steady in the left side of the infield all season after 4 years at Stanford. This could be two. A turn to LeBron and back to first. And Ashton Larson is the victim of a 3-6-3 double play to clear the bases.
Well, just like that, you get a base hit, then the very next pitch you see as clean a double play as you're going to see when it comes from a first baseman to shortstop. You get another look at this. He hooks this ball hard down the first baseline. Purdy does a good job immediately turning and throwing and getting back to the bag in time to receive the throw from LeBron. Well, I mean, just bam, bam, hit, then double play.
So 2 down now for Borba. Texas has had traffic. Aiden Robbins led off the bottom of the first with a single, but he was caught stealing. Longhorns still left 2 in the bottom of the first, and there, after the leadoff single by Becerra, he's doubled off on the 3-6-3. 2-0 the count to Borba, who hit 1 for 3 last night, his average up to 293, and an OPS of 967. Stays fair. Borba makes the turn and will stand at second with a 2-out double.
Starting to get that barrel back in the right spot. This ball's pulled down the line. And when he's good, he loves to hit that ball from second base over to this side of the field. I mean, just nicking the corner of the bag. And the left fielder, Osterhaus, having a hard time picking it up, tried to throw before he got it. I think it was probably going to be a double anyway. Casey Borber takes a nice glide into second base.
So now Jaden Duplantier, senior, takes the first pitch ball. He has hits in 5 of the last 7 games he's played, and batting .275 overall. 12 runs batted in, with an RBI opportunity here. By the way, back to Borba. He's now 2 for 4 this series, going back to first base. Struggled at the plate after he moved back to third due to the Adrian Rodriguez injury. 1-1 the count.
It's not that it causes confusion. He's a veteran player. It's that you got to change your focus. It takes you out of your normal routine of taking your work at first base, and now you got to go back and, relive your third base days. And the throwing part of it, bunt defense. I mean, it just occupies more of your time and your focus mentally.
Borba hoping to be the tying run, but Duplantier behind 1-2. Jim Schlossnagel said, "We recruited the heck out of Zane Adams coming out of high school when he was the head coach at Texas A&M. He's from just north of Houston in Porter." Adams recovers on to first, and Texas leaves another man in scoring position. 4 hits for the Longhorns, but still off the scoreboard. They're down 1-0. It's easy to see why Justin LeBron is certain to be a high first-round pick in the upcoming draft.
Well, you talk about tools. You just saw one of them right there. The power, his ability to hit with power, average, running. Look at the jump, and watch him outrun this throw. I mean, he is moving. And then here's you get another look at the offensive side of it, what he created. A wild pitch last night as he was stealing third. And he can create offense with his feet, and then the defensive side of it, watch this, move over, right foot down, get the ball out of his glove in a hurry, and make an accurate throw. And watch this big league move right here. Look at that transition from glove to right hand and get his foot down in time to still make an accurate throw. But the quickness in that transition, that is a big league move.
ESPN's number 5 Major League Baseball draft prospect. And here's his ranks this season. He had 3 of his 32 stolen bases last night. That leads the SEC, and that easily leads any player in a power conference. Is 3rd in the nation, 6th in the conference in runs, and 10th in the league with those 12 home runs. He's due up 3rd this inning. Brennan Holt leads off the 3rd. Ruger Riojas, after allowing a first inning run, the first 3 batters reached base. He has retired the last 5. Holt batting .274 with a home run and 16 runs batted in.
I don't know how you don't swing at that. That was an 83-mile-an-hour splitter. It was in the middle, started in the strike zone, and disappeared. Holt doing a good job of staying off of it and not chasing it.
He went 0 for 3 last night. Holt has reached base 8 times in his last 5 games. To center, base hit. Holt's first hit of the weekend and hit number 3 for Alabama this afternoon.
Riojas would like to have this back as you get a look at Jim Schleich, the head coach at University of Texas, and obviously the accolades chase him all over the place. I mean, I don't know how many times he's been the coach of the year. He won the SEC championship first year last year at Texas regular season. But I can tell you from a personal level, he's one of the best, if not the best in the business right now. He is that good at being the head coach of University of Texas.
Fowler drew a 12-pitch walk to begin the game and later scored a first-pitch ball. Schlossnagle said after the game last night that Dylan Volantes, for the time being, will remain the Friday starter.
He threw good last night. Those breakers were just powerful.
12 strikeouts in 6 innings of work. Sam Cozart had 5, so 17 strikeouts of Alabama hitters last night. Rigor Riojas with 4 strikeouts with no outs here in the 3rd. One and 2 the count.
I think Riojas has had more success with that inline fastball, a fastball into the left-handed hitters. He's done a good job of getting it in there in time. None of them have been able to extend their hands to get the barrel to it in time or cut it off. The mistakes he's made has been with the little splitter and cutter that he's left in the middle part of the plate.
Dribbles away from Tinney. Holt trying to get to second. Throw down, and they got him. What a gun by Tinney.
Get out of here. This is, look, this is going to look simple to so many people and not be able to appreciate, first of all, the backhand stop of the pitch, right? Riojas rips the ball over in the left-hand box. Watch this right here. He's got to reach over from his knees, pick it up from the ground, does not go back to his glove, and throws a missile right on place for Rodriguez to put a tag down.
That's the guy with speed. Holt 14 stolen bases coming in.
The secret to it is a lot of young players pick the ball up and they go back to the glove to set their feet. He does not. He's got the whereabouts and the confidence, pick it up from the ground with his right foot in position to come up and be able to throw in one motion. But not very many people can throw it with that kind of accuracy and strength.
Tailing towards the line and foul. Fowler working another nice at bat here. Again, a 12-pitch walk to begin the game, and he is the game's only run. 7th pitch of the at bat coming here with 1 out in the 3rd.
Again, Riojas going in with those fastballs to the left-handed hitters. He did get one of his strikeouts early on that same line using his breaker. Just gets those hitters sped up trying to protect the fastball.
95 and high in a full count. To left, Pack under it, 2 down.
If you could talk to a pitcher about how in the world you can create fly balls to left field to get out, today's the day to do it because they're not going very far. That ball was hit, not great, but it was hit, historically would have been in normal depth for a left fielder to retreat a step or 2 and catch it.
Breezy day. Temperatures will drop throughout the afternoon. Justin LeBron now at the plate. Single, but thrown out trying to extend it to a double back in the 1st. for his non-Justin LeBron numbers compared to his first 2 seasons. He's on a 9-game hit streak now. Also coming in, he scored at least 1 run in 9 straight games. 1-1 the count.
The better you are throughout seasons, the more attention you gain as to how people are going to pitch you and how they're going to work with you. And you're not going to get as many pitches to hit. And, you know, what do you have hitting around you? And there's a lot to that as you're in the league a long time. People just recognize, okay, we're not going to let this guy beat us. So they ultimately just start staying away from him completely or changing your sequence unless you just have to.
Two into the count. I mean, his numbers, he's 276, 12 home runs, 32 RBIs. He has an OPS of over 950, but then 32 stolen bases. So the OPS doesn't even tell the whole story, but his average is down from his previous 2 seasons. He had 18 homers last year as well. Riojas gets him. And that's the 5th strikeout for the Longhorn hurler.
That would make anybody's average go down right there. That is an extension side fastball down and away to right head and hitting LeBron. I mean, this is an angry fastball he threw. Did you see the play from Tinney? The ball that got away and the throw down to second base. That's league throw.
Crimson Tide a 1-0 lead as we head to the bottom of the 3rd, and we're joined now by the Crimson Tide head man. Coach, thanks for joining us. David Salzman with Ty Harrington. Your take on Zane Adams so far, keeping Texas off the board through his first 2 innings of work.
Yeah, done a good job, man. He's obviously the changeup's kind of a weapon for him, and you can see they're doing a good job just trying to spit on the changeup. He's throwing some good ones, but done a good job taking them. But man, he's been in the zone. He's been at the bottom of the zone, and well, we saw last night how dangerous this offense is when they get going. So he's done a good job thus far, and just managing his emotions. Man, he's a Texas kid back in the state of Texas, and just trying to let him be himself. And he's done a good job of that thus far.
You know, I got to ask, so last night didn't go the way you guys wanted to, Rob, obviously, but the coaches know it. What was the huddle conversation to get these guys back? Because you talked about how, you know, these guys are bar fighters. Can you take us through just a little bit of a review of last night's conversation after the game?
Yeah, man. I mean, sometimes you just get taken behind the woodshed a little bit, and that's what happened last night, right? They were just, I mean, they played like the #1 team in the country last night. They were good on all facets, man. Volantis was as advertised and just a unique look. I mean, punched us out about 40 times, and he had good stuff going, and then just really good at passing. And, you know, they moved the barrel a lot more than we thought. You know, it's by and large a team that takes a lot of pitches, and they kind of came out and ambushed Tife a little bit. And, you know, that's been Tyler's thing. When the sinker's down and they're trying to ambush stuff, that's really good stuff, because that means he's going 8 innings. Unfortunately, he was a little bit up, but what I love that he did, man, is that thing could have been really ugly there in about the 3rd, and he kept making pitches and minimizing stuff and give us a chance, and we get back, you know, 5-2, and you feel like you're back in that game, and then they answer with the 3 spot. So, man, they were just good last night. They did a good job. They threw the ball really well, relentless at bat. So sometimes you got to tip your cap to the other team. You go back to that those games last weekend against Arkansas, and those are the ones as a coach that frustrates you a little more because you felt like you were in a position to win them. We kind of ran into a buzzsaw last night, so being mature enough to acknowledge that and show up today ready to throw another haymaker.
Thanks for joining us, and good luck the rest of the way.
Thanks, boys.
Rob Vaughn, head coach of Alabama, and he mentioned the sweep at the hands of Arkansas last weekend. Tide led in all 3 of those games, but didn't hang on to any of them as the Razorbacks got the sweep in Tuscaloosa.
That's hard to do. But again, we talked about this yesterday, that razor-thin line of success or failure, or winning or losing is the best way to put it, in the SEC every weekend. And you get surprised every once in a while that, at home you get, swept like that. But the reality is that the pattern would be, if you were as a coach, you wrote it down, you go, win every time at home, win 2, and make sure you win at least 1 on the road, and you'll be happy.
This foul, Aiden Robbins will await another full count offering from Adams. Robbins singled in the first, but then was caught stealing for the first time this year. Rob Vaughn saying that Dylan Volandes had 40 strikeouts. He had 12, but I imagine if you're an opposing head coach, it feels like 40.
Well, but they had 40 swing and misses last night.
Oh, called strike 3. Robbins had taken 3 steps towards first. Ben Levin, though, says you're out looking.
Well, let's get another look. We don't have a strike box to verify it, whether it was or it wasn't. Certainly the catcher's hand, the way he caught it with his hand moving away, I don't know that he was set up away. It didn't look like it. And he caught that ball with his left hand pushing away towards the Alabama dugout.
An OMG from Robbins as he heard that strike call. So now Tinney watches first time up. Went 3 for 4 last night, including a 2-run blast. 3 runs batted in, 4 runs scored. It's fouled off, and the count is 0-2. This got Texas started. This blast gave him a 2-0 lead. They did not look back.
He has brought that side of the field into play for him, not just with singles, but homers and power and doubles. And that's been a huge key part of the reason why he's on this streak of home runs, if that's what we're calling it.
High and tight. 7 home runs in his last 7 games. And in those last 7 games, 34 plate appearances overall. So the 7 dingers match what he had in the first 131 plate appearances this season. Called strike 3. Adams gets the hottest duo in the nation looking back to back.
Let's get another look. I originally thought it was a fastball, but it's not. A little cutter running down and into him. Start the middle part of the plate, runs into the inside of the right-handed hitting Tinney. Right there at the kneecaps.
Now Rodriguez, who struck out his first time up, swinging. Fouled off right side, and that'll go out of play.
Yeah, it's not a huge breaker from Adams. It's a slider. It's got enough depth to get you to swing over the top of it, but it's not like what you were watching last night with Volantes and that big breaker, or even his slider, the way it shapes up. But it's hard. It's 87, 88. And then, but he can, those are 2 hard pitches, the fastball, the slider, and then that changeup differential.
To second, scooped up by Holt, and after giving up 4 hits in the first 2 innings, Zane Adams has a 1-2-3 third. Tide looking to even the series in Austin, up 1-0 through 3.
real fun. Just getting started.
Run straight for the breakaway.
The celebration is on.
Under 2 months from now, there will be just 8 teams left with dreams of a national championship. College World Series in Omaha begins on June the 12th. And certainly both these teams here in Austin this afternoon with aspirations of making it to Omaha. Texas ranked number 4 in the nation. Alabama number 11. Both are in the top 5 of the RPI coming into the weekend. A 1-0 Alabama lead as we start the top half of the 4th. Brady Neal, responsible for the only run of the game. His double drove in Bryce Fowler in the top of the first. First 3 tied hitters reached base. Just one has reached base since. That was Brendan Holt's leadoff single in the 3rd.
It's not every sport that a team could lose a game and your RPI not even move. Because you've got the 2 top teams right here RPI-wise, and it may not, you know, if one team loses just one game or something like that, or even a couple of games, it just doesn't. It's going to move the needle some the other direction, but not a ton.
Counting out 2-2. So here are the SEC teams in the RPI top 30, 10 of them. Texas, Alabama, Florida. You have 5 in the top 7, and Texas A&M may be the hottest team among all the squads in that group.
Yep, they may be. Well, they're on an offensive barrage right now.
10 runs in the win at LSU last night. Neal goes down swinging, and that's the 6th strikeout for Riojas with 1 out in the 4th. All 6 strikeouts swinging so far for Ruger.
Yeah, you get another look at this little cutter slider at 88 miles an hour. Not a big break. David, it's got just enough depth. It gets those hitters started, and then the ball disappears from them.
So Riojas, after the first 3 hitters reached to begin the game, as Hines fouls this off, he's able to get Fowler, LeBron, and Neal in their last at-bats. And that's key, certainly the strength of this lineup. There seems to be a significant difference between the top and the bottom. Now, Eric Hines batting in the cleanup spot. You see his .349 average. He's been awfully good since becoming the full-time starter a couple of weeks ago. But the bottom of the order last night went 0 for 16. And Holt, the hit in the 3rd, the only time the bottom of the order's had a hit for Alabama this weekend. Crowd wanted that strike call, but it's now 1-1.
I think the crowd thinking that similar to the 2 pitches he called the inning before, as far as the height of them.
Swung and missed at that high offering, 1-2.
What's interesting for a hitter, because you look into a window where you think the hand's coming from, when the pitcher, right when he's let go of the baseball. The same height. More times than not, the pitchers throw from the same spot, regardless of the type of pitches they're throwing. But Riojas goes over here to the side, and it can confuse a hitter a little bit as to where is the slot that he's coming from. And it's not a huge movement. I mean, it's probably a 2 foot down further from where his normal release is. But for a hitter, if you don't see it very often, it could be a challenge for you. And plus, it also sinks and has good movement to it on his fastball.
Here's the 1-2. That's foul.
What we haven't seen from Riojas today is his bigger, slower breaker. That's 78, 79 now, big breaking ball. It's been mainly, you know, that tight, hard slider. A lot of his splitters.
Strike 3, but it gets between the legs of Tinney, and Hines is over at first base.
Well, he went to it. It just happened to get underneath Carson Tinney. That doesn't happen very often. That's that bigger, slower breaker. Got him to swing over the top and miss it. The unfortunate side of it for Riojas is it got underneath the catcher Tinney.
That's just a second wild pitch of the season. So Hines strikes out, but again reaches first base, and still one out here in the fourth for John Lem, the catcher. Lem struck out his first time out. I'm going to make an assumption here, and I'm going to say hi to his parents, Sharon and John Lem, in Brisbane, Australia. Great article in SI where, regardless of what time it is in Brisbane, they're staying up to watch their son. It's a 15-hour time difference, so it is right now 4:06 a.m. Sunday morning in Brisbane. And if Sharon and John are listening, hello to you. And what dedication that helped John get better at the game while in Brisbane and then moving to the States in 2022. And after a windy road, 2 junior colleges and then Southern Illinois last season, here he is with the number 11 team in the country.
Oh, that's getting up early to watch baseball. That's breakfast baseball at its earliest.
Lem stays alive.
You talked about it in the opening. For guys, young players that are out there watching this, I mean, it's a test of perseverance. If you've got something that you really like doing, you really love to do, and you want to compete with yourself every day to get better, I mean, it's a testament of sticking with something and putting in the work and it paying off.
I read where, of course, Lem is the catcher. He didn't have a true catching coach until last season when he played at Southern Illinois. Did not play at New Mexico Junior College in 2022. So imagine he's come all the way 8,000 miles from Brisbane, Australia. He doesn't even play his first year in the States. Made it to South Suburban Community College and was a star there for 2 seasons. He strikes out looking, and there's 2 down.
There's a backdoor breaker. Riojas goes to that bigger breaker, original curveball. Watch, he's going to start it out on the back door. Watch it breaking down, comes back just enough to catch the edge of the plate. It's actually the 3rd strikeout of the game, but the only 2 of them count.
Riojas is up to 8 strikeouts, including 3 this inning. Hines reaching base after striking out due to a wild pitch. Andrew Purdy at the plate, who struck out in the 2nd. Took something off. It's 0-2. He allowed the first 3 hitters to reach base. Since then, just the 1 hit to Holt in the 3rd, 6 strikeouts since the beginning of the 2nd.
It's a good job. I just found that ball off in an 0-2 count. You're sitting breaker, off speed, often with 2 strikes. And he rips off a 94-mile-an-hour fastball right underneath you.
1-2.
So 82 pitches in the 4th. This is a moment for Ruger Riojas where he'd like to get off the field and try to minimize the rest of this inning and keep his pitch count down enough to be able to maybe gain some depth into this game.
Purdy stays alive.
I don't know how many foul balls that is this game so far for Alabama, but it's been a bunch.
He threw 83 pitches his last time out at Texas A&M, gave up 5 runs in 5 innings. Here's pitch 84 this afternoon. Another full count to an Alabama hitter.
It's going to allow Borba to go back behind the runner at first, cover more ground, particularly with a left-handed hitter. David, and Riojas, who likes to throw those breakers and fastballs in, allow Borba to cover enough ground.
Hines on the move, of course, and Purdy fouls this off. Texas only used one man out of the bullpen last night. That was Sam Cozart, who pitched the last 3 innings and therefore got the save, his 5th of the year. Jim Schlossnagle said afterwards, "I just wanted a clean, crisp, well-pitched game," and he certainly got it from Volantes and Cozart. 17 strikeouts. Called strike 3. How about 4 strikeouts in the inning for Ruger Riojas? It remains 1-0.
You don't see it every day, I can promise you that. When you get a chance to strike out 4 guys in an inning, here's the first one, a breaker down in the middle, breaker away on the second one that got away, third a backdoor breaker. 4 strikeouts. Here's the last one on the outside part of the plate for strike 3.
Anthony Peck Jr. will lead off the 4th for Jim Schlossnagle and the Texas Longhorns. And you see the freshman that he has had in his career go all the way back to Matt Carpenter, but Gavin Gerhovac still doing work for Texas A&M. And of course, Dylan Volantes, last year's SEC Pitcher of the Year. And Pack, one of 2 SEC freshmen to start every game. He's hitting over 400 against SEC pitching this year.
Well, there's a lot of things that are impressive about Pack, and part of this has been that he hits left-handers, the left-left matchup. He does a good job with it. For a baseball nerd, statistic nerd like myself, that always put a lot of value in what was your free base ratio versus your strikeout ratio. In other words, if you are flat, meaning even, you are an elite offensive player in my mind, in the sense that you don't strike out much, you're putting the ball in play, you'll take your free 90 any way you can. Well, right now he's sitting above that with the free bases over his strikeouts. He's hard to strike out, and he uses every square foot of the baseball field inside the white lines to hit in. So he doesn't just necessarily pull side. We've seen him go back up the middle 3 times in the last 2 games. And left field he uses as well. I mean, he is a very polished young hitter.
Singled his first time up this afternoon. Had a 4-hit day, the first of his Longhorn career last night. 2-0 the count. And Jim Schlossnagle said that the last hit he had last night was something that, for all he could do when he arrived on campus, he could not do as well. He credited Troy Tulowitzki for this to help him out, staying on the ball against the shift so that he's hitting it to the backside. He's become even a better hitter hitting it to the opposite part of the field than he was even when he arrived here on campus.
You're going to have to be in this league because you're going to face power breakers. Balls running away from you. and guys that can expose the opposite side of the plate that you're standing on. So you have to be able to do that. It takes a lot of work. They drill on it constantly. I mean, in the middle of this, I get a text message a minute ago from a buddy of mine who coaches out in California, talking about he had coached him on his travel ball and just went on and on, not just about his ability, but as a person and how unreal of a young person he is. And he likes to work. So there's part of the ingredient.
To the right side, and Holt. And Adams, after getting behind 3-0, is able to get packed to ground out.
Second baseman, number 5, Ethan Mendoza.
One down for Ethan Mendoza. What's Zane Adams done best to keep Texas hitters off balance for the most part?
That downhill fastball and then backing it up with that changeup. And that downhill fastball is in on the right-handed hitters. He's daring them to try to pull the ball. And what you have to do as a hitter, as a right-handed hitter, when he's throwing 93 at you, on you, meaning closer to you, you have to speed that barrel up. Well, what does that do? That makes that changeup more accessible to him on the other side of the plate, because now your barrel is sped up. And so, to me, the majority of his fastballs have been on the third base side of home plate to start hitters off with. And then he started landing that little slider in the third, right there at the kneecaps.
Good with his control. Has 3 strikeouts so far this afternoon. 1-2 to Mendoza, who's hitting in the 5th spot of the order for the 2nd straight game, and of course the 2nd time this season. He led off all year before last night. Went 1 for 4, and Jim Schlossnagle simply said just gives them a chance to ease into the game. Mendoza a couple of RBIs last night also in the 10-2 win. Stays alive here.
You and I talked about it last night. A lineup is fluid in college baseball. You know, you don't go in like, you know, sometimes in professional baseball, they've got the lineup laid out. And they go, all right, you're going to hit in the 3-hole. So you know you've 162 games, you're going to hit in the 3-hole more than likely. But in college baseball, it's fluid. And when you're not hitting as good as what you like to and normally do, and you're sitting in the leadoff position, you're getting more at-bats than everybody else. So sometimes you want to see, let's take a little bit of the pressure off. Let's move him down on the lineup, and let's just let him exhale a little bit. Maybe see different types of pitches. And so, I mean, and plus you got the benefit of creating another leadoff hitter in Robbins, who just went nuts last night, hitting out of the leadoff position.
Robbins a couple of hits last night in his 3 at-bats, and is 1 for 2 so far today. Mendoza grounded out his first time against Adams to end the 1st. Left side, LeBron backhands, throw to first, 2 hops and into the glove of Purdy for out number 2.
Well, here you go again. I mean, this is just a nice play. He makes it look like it's effortless. He's positioned well, first of all, on the pull side. But he's got to go to his right, watching crossover step, backhand. Doesn't try to throw the ball all the way in the air. It's a smart move. It creates accuracy, and particularly when you're throwing it on turf, to hop it at least once, sometime twice.
And by my count, 4, maybe 5 times that we have brought up his defense at the shortstop position. Stema Becerra fouls off the first offering, 0-1 the count.
If you're going to be considered, which he is, highly considered as a high first-round draft pick, that's part of it. If you're going to go play shortstop in the big leagues, those guys, I mean, flip on your channel and watch ESPN every night, and somebody's making unreal plays. Bobby Witt Jr. just makes plays like this unreal. He's a walking highlight. But there's so many of them up there in the big leagues that type of defense is expected. Not want. I mean, it's expected.
His head coach, Rob Vaughn, says everything about him is winning. You know, we've mentioned his offensive numbers are down from his first 2 seasons. And Vaughn says he's still been the same teammate as far as supporting everyone else while he's gone through a few more offensive struggles than he's been used to. number 5 overall prospect, according to ESPN's Kyler McDaniel, in the upcoming draft. You know, Vaughn compared him to Dave Magadan in terms of taking a chance on the Alabama program. Of course, you watch the Summer of '83 documentary, which shows the College World Series and Texas defeating Omaha or Alabama to win it all. And Magadan, the Golden Spikes Award winner for Alabama, hitting .525. He took a chance in Alabama in the early '80s. LeBron could have gone anywhere. Chose Rob Vaughn and the Crimson Tide and has stayed 3 seasons in Tuscaloosa. Zane Adams, after allowing 4 hits to the first 8 Longhorn batters, has retired 7 straight. Alabama still leads 1-0 through 4. Reached base. Ty Harrington against Riojas. Since then, just one has reached base. He has struck out 9 of the last 12 batters he has faced.
And in assorted ways, to me, that fastball extension side was good for him early. Now he's gone to that bigger breaker. As you get a look at the last couple strikeouts, and of course he had 4 in the last inning. Let's get a good look at his numbers early and since. And it tells the story of why we're locked up in a 1-0 game.
He walked Bryce Fowler to begin the game in a 12-pitch at bat. Brady Neal, 2 batters later, would drive in Fowler with an RBI double. That's our only run to the game so far. 1-0 as we start the top half of the 5th with Ty Harrington. I'm David Salzman. Second game of a 3-game set. A little rain has started to fall, although the biggest chance of rain here in Austin isn't until late this afternoon into the early evening. Starting 2 hours earlier than originally scheduled today because of that chance of rain. 1-1 the count to Torres. Tomorrow's series finale, 1 o'clock Central, here on SEC Network Plus. Light rain, wind still whipping in from the north. Total opposite of what it was last night here in the 10-2 Texas win.
I'd like to complain about the weather today, but I'm not gonna, and I'm gonna tell you why. We have had a really good spring as far as cold and wet. I mean, we hadn't had a ton of cold days starting back in February when the season started. So you get one every once in a while, take it and move on.
To Ethan Mendoza on the shift, and there's one down. I thought you were about to say, because we keep the windows open here in the booth, so we're feeling the chill a little bit. I thought you were going to say you don't mind the cold, because you have not 1 but 2 jackets on your chair just in case it gets cold.
That's correct. And I told you before the game, the greatest advice anybody ever gave me when I started coaching was, you can always take your jacket off, but you can't add it if you ain't got it. And so I carry them with me. I don't like being cold. I would rather be hot. It's just the southern, Texas coming out in me.
So are you saying for the over 20 years and all the wins you got at head coach at Texas State, that was the best advice you ever received?
Pretty close.
Okay.
Pretty close. When I had a lot of other people trying to tell me something, I was probably too hard-headed to hear it.
Osterhaus grounded out his first time up. As a kid, I went to a game at Candlestick Park. Remember the old Candlestick Park where the Giants would play? And at night, I mean, you had the wind and the cold coming from the bay. I mean, 5, 6 layers the fans would bring. My family and I, though, were not prepared. And my dad made us leave when it was in the 7th inning. It took me a while to forgive him for it, but I understand as an adult. I'm with you, the need for the jacket.
Well, there's a need for it. I mean, again, to haul it with you, I've learned how to hook it onto my backpack. I've learned to put one in my backpack. Here, if you got in the back of my GMC truck, there's 3 jackets in there, and so I'm not prepared for everything, but I am prepared for that.
0-2. Call strike 3. 10 strikeouts for Riojas, and there's 2 down in the 5th.
He gets that high, tight, right at the letter strikeout call. Watch this. This is going to be right at the very top of the strike zone, just below the mask level of Tenney. Into him. That ball kind of darted back to the right for the strikeout.
Okay, so do you see the jackets?
You guys, that's not
I was
fair.
being honest.
I'm going to cover them up real quick. Yes, there are a bunch of jackets back here. I've got a vest and a pullover jacket as well.
I got a heavier jacket than you.
Yeah.
You know, I've only had this for like 2 weeks. Took a trip to Canada recently, and I was like, I need a jacket. It's cold up there, and I'm glad I have it for this afternoon.
Look, every baseball coach in the world has 8 weather apps. I mean, look, between farmers and baseball people and pilots, you got a pretty good idea. If you know one of them, you could phone a friend at any moment and catch up with the weather pretty quick.
Who's in charge during the game of keeping track of the weather apps? Can't be the head coach, right?
You have some now. Well, most of these guys have baseball ops people now, or they have somebody in charge of it. Back then, it was usually the head coaches when I was coaching, and we had ops guys too that helped out with it.
0-2 still to Holt.
And Riojas just invented another windup right in the middle of the game. And we're in the 6th inning, the 5th inning, and he invents a leg kicker. He gets to the top and holds it. Just, you know, part of pitching is disruptive timing. You're trying to disrupt the timing of the hitter, and any advantage you can gain, if you're athletic enough like he is, you can do that.
1-2. I love it that he does it too, because it really reflects his personality. And I think Jim Schlossnagle and staff will tell you there's quite a few free spirits on the team, none more than Ruger Riojas.
And again, he was a shortstop in high school, a sidearm pitcher. And the path to where he is today is a testament of his work ethic and the people he has surrounded himself with.
Another strikeout. 11 in 5 innings for Ruger Riojas, and the smile at the end of the frame.
Get another look at it. You're going to see a fastball running away from him, a four-seamer right at the top of the strike zone on the outside corner with a big grin and a punch out.
Best conference tournament in all of college baseball.
Run straight for the breakaway.
Let's get to Hoover.
every SEC team will get to Hoover 1 month from tomorrow. Conference tournament starts. Here's the standings as we speak. Texas, Texas A&M, Georgia, even in the loss column for first place. But of course, Georgia has 2 more wins than the Longhorns and the Aggies. Georgia and Arkansas have the rubber game of their 3-game series today. Florida, Ole Miss, Auburn, Arkansas. That wraps up the teams over 500 in conference play heading into today's action. And the difference between 4th and tied for 12th in the SEC, 2 losses. You saw Florida 10-7, Tennessee and Vanderbilt 7-9, tied for 12th coming into this afternoon.
Yeah, that's traffic. Well, that is like leaving Austin, Texas at 5 o'clock in the afternoon. It all backed up a little bit, but
0-2 to Ashton Larson. St. Adams got Larson to grind into a 3-6-3 double play in the second.
You know, we're in the 5th, and he hasn't even faced a whole lineup twice yet.
This is 7, 8, and 9 in the order this inning for Texas, with Borba and Duplantier to follow. Coming in, Larson, .381 batting average and a .618 on-base percentage in SEC games. Two and 2. Against SEC pitching, he's 8 of 22, but with 12 walks. Stays alive here. And Borba, a nice snag in the on-deck circle. He did the same thing at LSU 2 seasons ago. He led the Tigers in batting average versus SEC foes, and you see .381 in conference play, .263 in non-conference action. Right up the middle, call strike 3.
I caught Larson looking for an off-speed pitch, probably that breaker running away from him. As you mentioned, this ball caught a lot of looked like it caught a lot of the plate. Another look, but it's the surprise of it. I mean, that is right through the heart of the plate. It was more of the surprise and the idea of it than anything else, because I think he was sitting out there looking for something, trying to run away from him.
That's 8 straight retired by Adams, and the last man to reach base is at the plate, Casey Borba, who doubled, but was left on base in the second. So both Riojas and Borba got into a little trouble early, but have been much better as the game's gone along. And just the 1 run on the board. In fact, since the top of the 3rd began, we have had 1 base runner. And was a Brendan Holt leadoff single in the 3rd. Took something off again, 1 and 2.
Going into the game today, between both guys throwing and looking into their histories and reading into their background statistically, and then digging in even a little bit further, and then the wind shifted and made the ballpark bigger, you could just kind of go, man, this might be one of those really tight, low-scoring games.
That stays fair. Torres across the diamond gets Borba for out number 2.
Not an easy play. He makes it look that way. This ball's hit to his right. It's not hit hard. There's nothing tricky about it. It is down the line. As we get another look at it, he shifts over to his right. The bag kind of, if it hit the bag, obviously it would have been different, but he comes up in position with a strong throwing position. I mean, he lets go this ball and makes a strong, accurate throw over to first base.
So 9 straight retired by Adams. Here's Duplantier.
In the way Adams, it's not tricky. I mean, it is, here's my fastball, occasional slider, here's my really good changeup behind it.
To right, Neal towards the line, slides, and that's foul.
And that pitch right there has been his success against Texas today. the inside fastball to the right-handed hitters that they'd not be able to get the barrel to. Sometimes it's a strike, sometimes it's far enough in off the plate. Becerra's really been the only one to hit that ball out to right. The fastball caught a little more plate than what he's given up. And what that does, again, it makes those right-handed hitters speed that barrel up to try to get to that 93-mile-an-hour downhill fastball, and that just opens the door to that changeup and then that occasional inside line slider that he throws to the right-handed hitters.
2-1. Top of the order on deck, and Robbins here with 2 outs, bottom of the 5th. Lone run coming in the top of the 1st.
I would drag this thought into it as well. If I asked you how many really big misses has he had today where it was non-relevant pitch? Not many.
No.
Right? He's had one elevated heater he threw that was non-relevant. All the rest of them have been in that circle, 3 balls, 4 balls off the plate, which keeps those hitters locked in all the time, thinking he's going to throw that strike nonstop, and so he doesn't have those big misses that a hitter doesn't even have to worry about or contend with.
His only walk so far was to Tinney with 1 out in the 1st. Here's the payoff to Duplantier. Stays alive.
Right now, he's got elite confidence with that fastball. Even those guys, he's not afraid to come in. He's not afraid to use it late in counts, meaning when he's got 2 strikes,
This just outside the 3rd base line. Torres coming in and makes the grab for out number 3. 10 straight retired by Zane Adams. It remains 1-0 Bama in Austin. Knew the Stars would be out all weekend long, and so far Justin LeBron, high first-round draft pick, everyone thinks in just a few months. 2 singles, 3 stolen bases. On the Texas side, top 2 hitters in the order, Aiden Robbins, Carson Tinney, a combined 6 for 10, 7 runs scored. And Ruger Riojas' day is done for Texas, but what an outing here at Ditch Falk Field. 11 strikeouts in 5 innings of work, and just allowing the 1 run in the first. Ty Harrington.
I think if people are wondering, well, why is he coming out? It was a heavy pitch count. Starting with the first hitter of the game, and when you strike a lot of guys, when you strike that many guys out, at least you're getting 3, if not 4 to 6 pitches an at bat with that many strikeouts. And so they're going to turn to the pen to hit LeFew, and look, it's similar. It's similar breaking ball wise at times to Volantis when he's got the big over the top breaker. He's got great depth and vertical to it. Comes out spinning hard, and that is his pitch. He relies on guys to swing and miss and to chase out of the zone, because if you go through the stat line, you see that 20 punch outs in 11 innings, but that walks in 8 and 11 innings are the teams that aren't chasing or aren't swinging at it at that breaker.
And Jim Schlossnagle said earlier this week that LeFew is chomping at the bit to get back out on the mound. First loss of the season for him came Friday at Texas A&M. He walked 3 of the 4 batters he faced, also threw a wild pitch. Before that outing, he had walked just 5 in 11 1/3 innings. Bryce Fowler, top of the order, is the first man to meet LeFew, and it's a first pitch ball. Just one other time besides the outing in College Station that LeFew struggled with command. He walked 2, gave up 2 runs at Auburn. The runs against Auburn and Texas A&M are the only ones he's allowed all season. So when he has his control intact, he has been awfully good. 1-1.
Well, that's a 94-mile-an-hour downhill left-handed fastball. I mean, it is over the top. Remember the old iron mics, the pitching machines? You guys are probably too young to remember that, but it would come like right straight over the top, which he doesn't. He creates angle that way, but that breaker creates depth off of it too.
Another fastball, 1-2. You mentioned Riojas' pitch count, 99 pitches in those 5 innings of work, those 11 strikeouts. 28 strikeouts of Alabama hitters so far this weekend.
Well, there was probably discussion. What are we going to make the move now? What are we going to do? Part of that becomes that, you know, the 3rd time through the lineup, you know, that's when things start to get interesting for pitchers, because you've already shown them 2 sequences of how they're going to get you out, of what it looks like. They've seen more times than not. They've seen all your pitches at that point. So I think that might have had something to it. Then obviously entering the Century market 100 pitches. Let's get a fresh arm out.
Got him. Another strikeout by Texas pitching, 1 down in the 6th.
That's what I was talking about, similar to that Volantis breaker. Watch the height that this breaker starts at, and it's almost just like a roller coaster ride. It just comes straight down. That thing just comes out spinning.
And so with LeBron at the plate, one of our Major League Draft prospects here this weekend, Riojas, Tinney, Robbins, the others in that graphic, and all 4 of them have had nice weekends. Again, Riojas is outing today, 11 strikeouts and 5 innings of work. LeBron 2 for 6 in the series. Now a 1-1 count against LeFew. Game 3 of the series tomorrow, 1 o'clock Central. Two and 1. Rob Vaughn was very clear with us. As we mentioned, again, his offensive numbers are, although impressive, the 12 home runs, you know, a bit down from his last 2 years. He said it has nothing to do with the draft coming up. He says LeBron has sometimes just been down on himself because he's not doing as much as he's used to help the boys win. Oh, LeFew kept control of that one. Not the best throw, but Borb is able to hang on for out number 2.
LeFew does a good job of staying with this. First of all, inducing the ground ball. Ricochets off his glove, doesn't panic, stays with it. And then the second half of this play, watch this, it bobbles it just a little bit off the edge of the glove. Second half of this play is this guy right here, Casey Borba. You go inside that bag, you know that runner's coming right at you, and he hangs in there and makes the catch. Doesn't shy away from the baseball.
Now Brady Neal, who's responsible for the game's only run, an RBI double in the first.
I think it surprised the umpire. Honest to goodness, I do. I think it surprised him. We talked about, you know, how it resembles that Volantis breaker. That's it, that over-the-top 12-6 breaker.
Too far to read lips, but Jim Schlossnagle had some words for Ben Levin after that ball call. Here it comes again.
I mean, you saw how high, you saw it started at the halfway mark of the hitter's helmet, the height of it. And I thought that one stayed above it. I mean, if you watch when it comes in, it's crossing right at, watch this thing start at the helmet height. Look at that, above the helmet, and then starts coming down. Now that one may, I think, stayed above.
That pitch foul back 2-2. Just before that pitch, Jim Schlossnagle had Timo Becerra move from his third base position to the right side of the infield. So now the shift is on for Neal with the 2-2 count here.
And I think if I'm a left-handed hitter, I'm just going to take my chance. He was going to throw a breaker, and I would try to hit that thing back towards the shortstop position.
Almost the entire left side of the infield is open. Full count. And Neal works the walk. He's on with 2 outs in the 6th.
He lives and dies with that breaker, and this time he wasn't able to execute it on the last 2 pitches to try to get a strikeout or an out. It does lead to a 2-out walk.
Now Hines, who reached base after striking out in the 4th, but reached because of a wild pitch. Struck out twice against Riojas, and he's behind 0-1 to LeFew. Pitchers duel here in Austin this afternoon. Now Texas going to the bullpen for the first time with LeFew, and he's ahead 0-2.
He has only 4 of 6 of stolen bases. If he goes, it's one of those high-risk moves where you feel like he goes right when he picks his foot up and gamble that he's not going to pick.
And he keeps it in front of him. 1-2 the count.
I was going to say this a minute ago. It's meant as a compliment, not negatively. But LeFew is hard. He's probably hard to catch. It's a really downward angle fastball, and he rips those breakers and relies on guys swinging and missing. A lot of those are going to be in the dirt turf area. So you, as a catcher, you know you're going to get to your knees a couple times when he's out there. And with that high angle fastball and those breakers, a catcher loves to get the left thumb, the catching thumb in the glove underneath the ball to be able to drag it back up for the umpire. And even that becomes even more challenging.
2-2, yeah. How hard is it to do what you just described Tenney having to do?
It's hard. You got to be flexible enough. You got to be skilled enough. Your eye-hand coordination of being able to get below it, understand what that feels like and looks like. Now, you're talking about guys you catch every day, but still, games add a little more adrenaline, a little more break.
Full count. Just 3 hits off LeFew all season, but 9 walks. Here comes the full count offering to Hines. Call strike 3. In all but 1 inning, multiple Alabama hitters have struck out. LeFew K's 2. It remains 1-0.
Here it is. He lives and dies with a breaker, but he disguises this one because it is a heater away on the outer half of the plate. He gets the punch out looking.
Bad innings for the Alabama starter Zane Adams, and he looks to hold on to Alabama's 1-0 lead as we head to the bottom of the 6th.
Enjoying being back in the great state of Texas, because right now he is comfortable out there on that mound. He's been able to exercise what he does best with that fastball on both sides of the plate. Occasional breaker or slider, and then he's been really good at throwing that changeup behind that effective fastball.
He sees the top of the order for the 3rd time. Aiden Robbins 1 for 2 with a single in the 1st. Carson Tinney, Adrian Rodriguez to follow.
I would argue this is the first time it's taken 6 innings to get the top of Texas lineup for the 3rd time. I don't know if somebody can tell me I'm wrong, and I wouldn't be the first time today, but it's just rare. There's been so good and so offensive all year.
Ripped to center, base hit. Another multi-hit game for Aiden Robbins. He's on to lead off the 6th.
You elevate, you're going to get hit, and Aiden Robbins is that hitter. He zips this ball right back through the middle. It looked like an elevated fastball right in the middle of the plate.
106 off the bat, 19th multi-hit game for Robbins this year. Adams is up to 87 pitches, allowing 5 hits, 1 walk, 5 strikeouts, and that ends the string of 10 straight Longhorns retired. An even hotter hitter coming in, and Tinney at the plate now.
Remember, Robbins got thrown out in the 1st trying to steal for the first time, I think you mentioned this year. This time they pick over there. That wasn't Adams' best move. That was a show-me move. What I mean by that, that a lot of left-handed pitchers will show you a move that's not their best, and then they'll hold that in their pocket until they really feel like, or the coach feels like that you're really about to run. Then they'll show you their best move.
Took something off, 1-1.
Yeah, Robbins actually extended his lead. He had his left foot out beyond the brown stripe of the turf, trying to get what's called a one-way lead, where you take a huge lead, and as soon as he picks his foot up, you're going back to first because you want to see his best move. He's trying to get him to pick again so they can see it.
To the plate instead. This to right field. Tailing foul. Neal makes the grab for out number 1.
I didn't think there was any way in the world that ball was going to stay in this ballpark. The way the wind was blowing today, Neal does a good job of running a long ways, and he gets into right up next to the fence down the right field line where there's a bunch of Texas fans leaning over thinking they might have a chance to catch it as well. He stayed with it long enough and came up with the catch.
So now Rodriguez with 1 out in the 6th. Going back to before his 8-game absence, a 4-game hit streak for Rodriguez, but he is 0 for 2 today against Adams. Oh, 0-1. Adams is from Porter, Texas, just north of Houston. His head coach, Rob Vaughn, is from Humble, also just north of Houston. When Vaughn got the Alabama job, he went to Zane Adams' house, tried to get him to come to Tuscaloosa. Zane's mom answered, and the first thing Rob Vaughn said was, "Amanda?" It was Zane's mom and Rob Vaughn's high school classmate.
That doesn't happen all the time. I mean, the 30 years of recruiting, I mean, I knew some of the family members, obviously. It helps in your recruiting, by the way, because there's a trust factor, and that becomes part of it. I mean, look, if I'm going to send my child out with somebody to go to work with them for 3 years or 4 years or whatever, however long that is, I would love it to be somebody I know and trust.
Yeah, they obviously were high school friends, but lost touch, and Rob Vaughn didn't know that Zane Adams' mom was his former high school classmate. And what success he's had. He was the youngest head coach of any Power Conference team, age 29 when he took over the Maryland job. In his last 2 seasons, the Terps won the Big Ten. He was the 2-time coach of the year in the league before heading to Alabama, where last season Tide won 40 regular season games, the most in almost 25 years.
That's young. We talked about that last night. It's young to be a Division I head coach. I mean, at 29 years old, I mean, more times you're still trying to figure out your position practice details and getting it organized, and just your position of players and recruiting, not running a Big Ten program. That's what Robbins has been looking for. He's trying to, it's twice now or it's probably 3 or 4 times on the pitches, he's extended his lead, trying to get him to show his best move, and he's only shown it once. They've taken one-way leads, and now we'll see if Robbins has gotten enough information that he feels comfortable trying to run.
He's going. Ball bounces away from Lim. Robbins at second in scoring position with 1 out.
That's a cat and mouse game to try to find information out and intel about a comfort of trying to run. This has got to be part of your game today because the way the wind is set up, it's hard to drive balls in the pull side gap. He kept taking a one-way lead, had a great jump. Lim wasn't able to come up with a slider down to make even to make a throw. Either way, you look up now with 1 out, you've got Robbins at second base in scoring position.
You knew that was coming, didn't you? Here's the 1-2. Rodriguez swings and misses. 2 down.
Yeah, I mean, it was that cat-mouse game of, hey, I need to see your move. Let me see it again, and it's just good baseball. And on Adams' part, what does he do? He comes back and executes a changeup, doesn't let the stolen base bother him, throws a changeup to get Rodriguez out or get him swinging.
So here's Anthony Pack Jr. Single in the first, gave him an 11-game hit streak. And during those 11 games, he's hitting just under 500. Before the first pitch, here comes Jason Jackson, the Alabama pitching coach. Over 90 pitches for Adams, 5 2/3 innings of work. Runner on second, of course, first base open. Ethan Mendoza is on deck for Texas with Pack about to come up.
You could be asking yourself, well, why is the coach going out there right now? He's throwing good. Yep, he sure is. He's throwing great, actually. But you got a guy now in scoring position. You've got Pack. It's a left-left matchup. And with the left-handed hitters, you got to hear this. Some left-handed pitchers don't like throwing changeups to left-handed pitchers. What's been one of his best pitches today? His changeup. So this is just maybe a reorganization of thought. Hey, do you feel comfortable throwing it, and or hey, do you want to use a breaker as your off-speed pitch? And just to give him a breath of, hey, let's talk about how we're going to try to get out one of the guy we just featured in his last at-bat, and Anthony Pack.
Matthew Heiberger is warming up in the Bama pen. He has the most appearances of any Alabama pitcher. But it's Adams to face Pack. As you said, lefty versus lefty with 2 outs. That gets away from Lim. Robbins on his way to third. Texas 90 feet away from tying the game here in the 6th.
I couldn't tell for sure, David. But either way, it's an advance of 90 feet.
It's the first time Texas has had a runner on third all day. 1-0. 2-0 the count.
Back-to-back breakers to Pack. Yeah, they're going to put him on. You go, why would you go left? Well, he's in a plus count, right? So you don't want to take a chance of your pitcher landing a ball in the middle part of the plate. And 2 things have happened now. You've got Mendoza, who they've moved down in the order. So I'm thinking from Alabama's perspective, let's go to the guy who's not as hot a hitter, even though it's a left-right matchup. Now, for Texas offensively, you've created the first third offense opportunity of double steals, and we'll see if they decide to use that or not.
So here's Mendoza, 8 home runs, 33 RBIs this season. He is 1 for 6 this series, 0 for 2 today against Adams. First pitch ball.
A lot of times when you get to a 2-out situation and you're hugging a lead of 1, that 1 out you're trying to get, you'll give up the hitter in front of you once in a while, knowing that your 1 pitch to get maybe the next guy gets you out of that inning.
2-0.
Now Mendoza's got himself into a plus count. And this is one of those moments where it's your baseball guy, you're sitting here going, all right, what's he going to throw him now? Is he going to get in and get after him with that 2-0 fastball, or is he going to go to that changeup that's been so effective for him?
He swings, fouls it into the Alabama dugout.
Yeah, he went to an all-speed pitch and a 2-0 count. For that reason, he got Mendoza sped up and got him out in front.
Mendoza 327 with runners in scoring position this year. He's hit safely in 10 of his last 13 games coming in. Popped up. Foul ground, and this will go out of play.
There's that fastball in again. He's been just so good with it when the right-handed guys. He's got, and that's not, your margin of miss when you go into hitters is minimal, and he has been able to execute that often, all day long throughout the Texas lineup.
Here comes Zane Adams, 100th pitch of the day, trying to get out of the jam. Tying run on third. Texas off the scoreboard so far. The 2-2. Pack going. Mendoza swings. Fouled again.
Yeah, I was about to say they were going to do a first and third steal and start the runner up regardless. One, maybe a defender moves. Nobody even moved. None of the defenders trying to get one of the infielders out of position to maybe let a ground ball roll through or create two throws on the first and third steal. I think Alabama just basically saying, let him go. We'll take our chances off the mound trying to get somebody out at home plate with a pitch.
Foul. 3 straight foul balls off the bat of Mendoza. Pack going. Mendoza swings. This is fouled again. This is the 4th time in Adams' last 5 starts that he has thrown over 100 pitches. Threw 104 in the loss to Arkansas last weekend, gave up 3 earned runs in 6 innings.
Well, it hasn't been under duress until now. I mean, it's been comfortable pitching, meaning it hadn't been, runners all over him the whole day.
Another 2-2. Pack going again, 3-2, and Pack to second, 2 runners in scoring position.
They were going to let him go all the way again. Alabama's playing the game of we're going to get the guy out at home plate, meaning from the mound, and now you hear the Texas faithful getting up trying to cheer on Ethan Mendoza, who's extended this at bat now to 3-2, and with a base open, what does he come with? Does he go to that changeup? And we have technical difficulties. in the height of the moment, everybody's fired up and gets going. We got to go change out our.
It's the first time this crowd has been on its feet all day, and now they have to wait.
If in fact that's gamemanship from Adams, that's awesome. I mean, you got a lot. If that's really what it was, I don't think you could hear because I think the crowd got going for the first time personally. But
Adams, cap on, crowd on its feet. Adams now toes the rubber. Here comes the 3-2. Got him. Zane Adams gets out of the jam, striking out Ethan Mendoza. And the Longhorns remain off the board. 1-0 Alabama through 6.
Time and time again, he's been able to dial up a big pitch. He comes back with what is bread and butter, changeup, and a 3-2 count. They got Mendoza out in front and got a big-time swing and miss and to get out of a jam here in the 6th.
home state and shuts out Texas through 6. It remains 1-0 as the top of the 7th begins with Hayden LeFew getting a second inning of work for the Longhorns. With Ty Harrington, I'm David Salzman. John Lem leads off the 7th and rips this pitch foul off to our right. What a job by Zane Adams to come back and get Mendoza on a full count changeup to end the Texas threat with 2 in scoring position.
It's his pitch. If you're going to get beat or if you're going to give up something, give it up with your best pitch. And that fastball changeup combination has been it all day, and he was able to execute it and entice Mendoza to chase it out of the strike zone. I mean, it's hard as a hitter. You're in there trying to protect and not strike out. You know, look, and you got so much of the plate you got to cover up. You're trying to cover up 93-mile-an-hour fastballs in and changeups away, and that's not an easy chore. Otherwise, they would have had a couple more hits today. That stuff was that good today.
2-1 to Lem. Here's the pitch from Adams to end the 6th.
That's just, I mean, that just takes so much. That thing starts in the hitting area. When you first recognize it as a hitter, you start to move that barrel in your mind. You just can't stop.
3-1 now. Lem batting .279, but in his longest cold snap this season, 2 for his last 27. Struck out both times he faced Riojas. Lem draws a leadoff walk.
See what they do with down in the 6th spot, whether they decide to try to create some offense now, playing small ball.
Purdy, just 36 at bats this season, does not have a sac bunt this year. He shows bunt, but the pitch is high.
You got a left-left matchup, and the guy with LeFew, who's got such a good breaker, and that, yeah, that's going to get a visit. And that doesn't mean they are sac bunting. Sometimes you'll fake bunt out there just to say, hey, we may be bunting, but then also create a visual decoy for the pitcher, put the bat out in front of the home plate. But I know it's got to be considered with a 1-run lead, and the way you've been pitching today if you're Alabama. Hey, left match, and that breaker's hard to hit. Maybe let's move him up 90 feet.
Texas pitching has held Alabama's offense in check. 3 hits allowed today, 4 all of last night, 3 runs total. The run today coming in the top of the 1st. That lead is held up for Justin LeBron and the Crimson Tide. Now we're ready for the 1-0 from LeFew to Purdy. Strike call. We'll mention again, when LeFew is on with his command, nearly impossible to beat. He's only allowed 3 hits this season in 12 2/3 innings, but he's allowed 10 walks. 3 came Friday in the loss at Texas A&M, and he's allowed 2 walks and an inning plus so far this afternoon here.
Well, he relies heavy on swing miss and chasing out of the zone because that breaker is so good and so tight and so much depth. And a lot of the strikes that he gets are going to be the guys that can't hold that barrel back and don't have the discipline to stay in there longer, which is easier said than done, by the way, because it is a really good breaker.
2-1 to Purdy. In there, 2-2. Alabama does not have a hit since the first batter of the 3rd, Brendan Holt. And he was out trying to get to second base on what would have been a wild pitch, but Carson Tinney made a tremendous throw to get him at second. Besides that, The other two Alabama hits came when they scored their run. Justin LeBron singled but was out trying to extend it to a double. Both with one out in the first. Brady Neal's RBI double scored Bryce Fowler, and that's the only run so far. This is foul ground. Borba under it and makes the grab for out number one. Well, Ty, Sunday the Rally Cap crew will break down not just SEC baseball, but also the SEC softball weekend with highlights, analysis, and interviews. And they'll get you set for the upcoming week with a look at the best matchups. Coverage begins at 7 Eastern, 6 Central on the SEC Network and the ESPN app.
I would think there's discussion between Rally Cap as to what the best matchups are on a weekend in the SEC and how you decide what that really is. Now, you throw a blanket around 4 of them probably, but to single out one every weekend's tough.
Softball too.
Yep.
On the baseball diamond, this series hits the two best teams in terms of RPI. In terms of national ranking, Georgia Tech number 2 is at number 3, North Carolina. They're playing game 2 of their set as we speak. And North Carolina is whipping Georgia Tech 11-4. 0-2 now to Torres.
Lim's only one of stolen bases, so that's not his forte, but what he can do is try to look for one of these breakers down in the turf.
Call strike 3. 2 down.
If he throws one, which he has, and try to anticipate getting out of there, but that right there's been his best pitch today. In my mind today, David, has been his fastball. He's had the best command of this pitch right here. As you can see that right at it, crosses the letters right there under the Alabama name where that white streak is on their jersey, and that's where it crosses. So it's a called third strike.
Now Osterhaus, the lefty, faces the southpaw LeFew. 0-1. Osterhaus 0 for 2 today, 0 for 3 in this series. Came to Alabama from Purdue Fort Wayne, which shut down its baseball program, and Osterhaus had 2 great seasons there. 25 home runs and hit .339 in his career there. To the right side, Mendoza, and that'll do it. In the top of the 7th, leadoff walk to Lim, but he's left 1-0 as we stretch in Austin with the Tide on top. Shine today, Ty Harrington, including Alabama's Zane Adams.
He has been a superstar today for 6 innings. I mean, it was fastball strikes, back end changeups. When he had to come up with pitches, he could do it. Certainly came up with runners on with his last strikeout of Mendoza and was able to execute a changeup in a full count situation. It's like he pitched at total confidence and ease today.
That strikeout of Mendoza came with runners in 2nd and 3rd. His day is done. The Houston area product, 6 shutout innings, 5 hits, 2 walks, striking out 7, a 104-pitch outing. And he gives way to Matthew Heiberger, junior from Birmingham, Alabama, also a southpaw. Team leader in appearances. This is his 15th of the season. 2-1 with a couple of saves and an ERA just below 3. Becerra, Larson, and Borba due up to begin the bottom of the 7th for Texas, who put up 10 runs on 16 hits on the board last night. 5 hits so far today, but so far shut out. Becerra 1 for 2 with a single, and he takes ball 1. Becerra 7 of 38 this season against lefties, despite hitting from the right side.
Texas right now will take a base runner any way they can get him. It's been a challenge for him today, and I think it was more of a credit to Adams.
And Texas had their way offensively last night. See the 6 extra base hits out of the 16 hits. Just 1 extra base hit so far today. That was a double by Borba, who's due up 3rd.
So far from Heiberger, he led off with a breaker in the sequence, but it's been 90, 93 mile-an-hour fastballs, trying to be aggressive with it.
Becerra's worth the count full. Well, this crowd is just waiting. They've seen it often. Offense being able to come through in key moments. So far, not today. Becerra works the walk, though, to begin the bottom of the 7th.
You're hunting base runners any way you can. Becerra does a good job of not chasing his ball. It was just off the edge of the plate. I mean, you got to have great confidence and awareness of the strike zone to take this pitch, because it wasn't that far off. But that's why he's been in college baseball for a while and has so many at-bats, and that is a very qualified, mature at-bat to try to start the inning with a walk.
Becerra now tied for 2nd in walks for the Longhorns as Ashton Larson shows bunt and takes a strike. That's Heiberger's 14th walk allowed in 21 1/3 innings.
That's every other. I mean, that's meaning every other inning. I mean, there's some walks in the background in his stat line. There's also a lot of strikeouts too.
Larson takes another one. It's 0-2.
That's tough when you get in there and you're trying to bunt, sacrifice yourself to move the runner to second base in the scoring position with Borba coming up behind you. You fall behind the count with 2 strikes immediately.
Popped up. Purdy, the first baseman, in front of the Texas dugout, stays with it. 1 away.
Doing a little bit of a dance step trying to get underneath that baseball because the wind was blowing so hard, but he does a good job of staying with it, making the catch, securing the first out in the inning.
So now Borba 1 for 2 with that double we mentioned just a minute ago. He's hitting .375 against left-handed pitching this year. Becerra on first with 1 out. Wind still blowing in, temperature down to 65 degrees, and it feels much cooler. That gets away from Lamb. Becerra on his way to 2nd. Takes a look, but will hold there. Longhorns have a runner in scoring position with 1 out.
See what happens throughout this inning, whether they're able, Texas meaning to take advantage of that, but you get a free 90 on a wild pitch in 1-run games, well, any game, but in a 1-run game, can be a huge moment for the offensive team. We'll see if Texas is able to take advantage of it.
First wild pitch by Heiberger all year. 3-0 to Borba. Again, .375 against lefties this season with an OPS of 1401. 4-pitch walk. First and second, one out. Jaden Duplantier due up.
Well, you got two things going here. Texas, you're looking for a base hit, something to tie this game up, get you some offensive momentum. Duplantier gets down the line good, tough to double up, has to be a squared up baseball right at one of the infielders. Alabama, you do have to protect against the drag bunt down the third baseline. With Torres, he'll probably, I would assume, be playing even or a step inside the bag at third. Right now, Texas is looking for some way to come up with a base hit to possibly tie this game.
Strike call 0-1. Duplantier, the fourth-year Longhorn. Of course, his brother Andre also played here in Austin. See the .268 batting average. Base hit! Becerra rounds third, trying to score. Throw to the plate, off target. We're tied at 1.
Jaden Duplantier coming up with a big hit for the Longhorns here, taking advantage of that wild pitch and a walk, or 2 walks in the innings, driving in Becerra. He drives this ball to right field. It was hit hard enough. This play was going to be close at the plate. We get another look at this, goes with it, he's looking out there, sees a fastball out there, lets it get deep enough, drives it to right field hard enough. It was going to be close at home plate, but the throw was offline. Becerra gets able to score on Duplantier's RBI single.
Now Aiden Robbins' first pitch strike. He's hitting over 400 against lefties so far this season. Had 2 singles against the lefty Adams. We just love seeing players like Jaden Duplantier take advantage of the moment. Little used his 4 seasons here. He's been used the most this year of any season he's had in Austin. Had that big hit at Auburn, the 3-run home run, first of his career, March 21st in the 7-6 win, and here he comes here, bottom of the 7th, to tie things up. 1-1 the count to Robbins. Big cut, 1-2.
And it's a credit to him. He's played, I don't know how many different positions, by the way, a bunch. So you have flexibility as a coach. He's created that for you and your lineup and your team. And now offensively, he's come on this year, as you mentioned, into his senior year and played quite a bit more. And not only do your teammates love to see you come through, but the fans root for you too. They know you've been in the program a long time. They understand your history, and you treat the program right. You work hard. You do what's right, and with respect. And he comes up with a big hit.
Ripped to left, foul. He leads Texas in almost every offensive category, including batting average, hits, runs, the 15 home runs, the 41 runs batted in. Put OPS as well with him being number 1. Leading the team in extra base hits, total bases, and slugging. Still 2-2.
I wanted to single one out and go, well, that one means more than that one, and that one means, but you've named off so many, I had to stop. And I wasn't going to be able to trump you on. I was like, you know what? I don't know. I got nothing. Yeah, he's really good. He is a dude when it comes to being a baseball player now. When he gets his spikes inside that batter's box, he is dangerous.
Blooper. That'll fall. Base hit. Borba will hold at third, but the bases are loaded, with still just 1 out.
Talking about sliding your hands inside this to get to it and be able to even hit it hard enough with enough barrel to get it out to center field. Borba wasn't able to go because the shortstop, second baseman, was pulled over shift-wise. and was in the same line with him. Look at him pinch those hands, and they're so tight to his body to allow the barrel to get into some type of position to get enough behind it to get it out to center field. But as we mentioned, Borba wasn't able to recognize because of enough separation between the baseball and the second baseman, who was pulled over shift-wise, and so was only able to go up 90 feet.
Heiberger has faced 5 Texas hitters. He's allowed 2 walks and then back-to-back singles to Duplantier and Robbins. For Duplantier, his 20th hit this season, more than his prior 3 years combined. Waiting to see if Alabama signals to the bullpen, and they will. Texas has rallied with a run in the bottom of the 7th and hoping for more. 1-1 tie with Sam Mitchell coming in for the tie. So the big 6'7" sophomore Sam Mitchell comes in for Alabama from Madison, Alabama. 1-1 this season, an ERA of 5.57. It's been up and down this year. He threw 2 1/3 scoreless innings Tuesday at UAB. Before that, allowed a total of 7 runs to Arkansas and Oklahoma over 3 2/3 innings. But that came off 3 2/3 scoreless innings against Auburn and Florida. But he comes in with Texas having the bases loaded, already a run in the bottom of the 7th, a 1-1 tie, and the hottest hitter in this Texas lineup, Carson Tinney, to come to the plate. First time we saw him this weekend off Tyler Fay, a 2-run home run to get Texas going in the 10-2 victory.
Got him going all right. I mean, that's just a blast to right field. Right now, though, they would take a fly ball out in the outfield with less than 2 outs to try to get the runner in from third base, to try to take the lead late in this game. I mean, if you're trying to draw up a moment, I mean, this has got to be what you would try to do late in the game, to have one of your hottest hitters coming up.
You saw the 8 home runs in his last 10 games. In his last 7 games coming in 14 hits. However, today, 0 for 2 with a walk against Zane Adams. Now he faces the righty in Sam Mitchell. 1-0. They have continued their dominance, and this weekend now at the top of the lineup for the first time. 8 for 13 combined, 4 extra base hits, 7 runs. 1-1.
That was that swing he was going to take on the wind in left field with. The ball was in, and he was willing to get after it and try to pull it.
By a diving hold into center field. Borba scores. Texas leads for the first time, 2-1.
The idea, a guy with power knows that he has a chance to drive balls into the gap and hit homers. He shortens up on a ball into him and does a good job of blasting this ball, line drive right back through this. Watch it. He gets after it. Ball's running in on him. Look how tight he pulls his hands in, gets him close to his body. He's okay with zipping the ball right back through the middle for a base hit. And it was crowded on that side of the field with defenders as well.
Give him an 8-game hitting streak as he continues what he told us last night, the hottest stretch he's ever had. Big swing and a miss for Adrian Rodriguez, an 0-1 count. Texas, after getting shut out by Zane Adams in his 6 scoreless innings, has come alive against the Alabama Pen, 2 in and hoping for more. Duplantier at third, Robbins at second, Tinney at first. To center. Should be deep enough. Fowler, though, coming in with the wind blowing in, makes the catch. Here comes Duplantier from third. 3-1.
That ball was shallower than we thought. It was right at the Longhorn logo out in center field, right where the left horn comes out. It was hit hard enough that it was going to be deeper, but because of the wind, it held it up and was going to give Fowler some momentum. Watch this right here. He goes back. Now he's going to create some momentum right at the Longhorn logo in center, but kind of off balance. And because of that, the ball ran off arm side. He wasn't able to make an accurate throw.
First sack fly of the year for Rodriguez. 3 in, and now Anthony Pack Jr. To the right side. Purdy stays with it, steps on the bag himself, and that'll do it. But Texas rallies to the delight of the Longhorn faithful. 3 runs to give them a 3-1 lead through 7. They had to wait until the 7th for the bats to come alive. And now Texas up as we head to the 8th. And welcome back to the capital city of Austin, Texas. For the home fans here at UFCU, Disch-Falk Field had to wait until the 7th for Texas to rally, but they have done so. A 3-run frame to put the Longhorns up 3-1 as we head to the top of the 8th. With Ty Harrington, I'm David Salzman, and Ty Ethan Walker gets the beginning of the top of the 8th for Jim Schlossnagel's Longhorns.
Yep, playing the angles right now between the first 2 of the 3 hitters in the Alabama's lineup are going to be left-handed, starting in the 9-hole with Holt, and so they're going to use this little sidearm 3/4 angle from Ethan Walker that you don't see all the time as left-handed hitters, and they're going to try to use this on the 2 of the 3, and actually 3 of the first 4 hitters are left-handed for Alabama.
You just see with that delivery how hard he can be on lefties. First pitch strike to Holt, who's 1 for 2.
Well, all of a sudden you got to change your focus from a tall left-handed arm action to one out right by your right shoulder as a left-handed hitter, as he creates that 3/4 arm action, and he steps back across his body as well.
Swing and a miss, 0-2. Walker's allowed 3 earned runs and 14 appearances spanning 10 2/3 innings, but all of those earned runs allowed have come since March 31st. Three-pitch strikeout, one down in the 8th.
Now, part of that arsenal, too, is his angle. He takes his left foot when he gets on the mound. You get another look at this. Watch his left foot. Look, he's all the way. We'll get a chance to see it in a minute. He's way over on the far left side of the mound. Steps across his body. As you see, he gets that elevated strikeout. And for those left-handed hitters, it's almost like it's coming back around their right shoulder.
And now the top of the order, which coming in and in the 2 games here easily have done the most damage for Alabama. Here's Bryce Fowler, a first pitch strike. He walked and scored in the first.
There's a look at his left foot. Look at this. Look how far over on the first baseline he is with his left foot. And then he spins all the way back around.
Carson Tenney wondering where that ball was. It was called a ball.
Yeah, look at him. He's all the way over there. Watch him step. Now he picks his right foot up, steps back across, and that angle sweeps all the way back across the left-handed hitter, and that was his fastball.
2-1 now the count. The future first-round draft pick, Justin LeBron, is on deck. Two and two.
I think there was a lot of grumpiness from Texas side of it. They thought the two-pitch before was a strike, and he didn't call it. You get tight like this in those last 6 out, it gets magnified.
Full count. This is, of course, a lefty-lefty matchup. LeBron, a right-hander on deck, and 2 right-handed throwers in the Texas pen, Brett Crossland and Thomas Burns. Ground ball to the shift, Mendoza, 2 down.
And there's a lot of reasons that out was so important, and for Walker to throw the ball in and get it was, you got a guy with power coming up, 1 out with a runner on first, and this guy coming to plate always feels a little bit different. As you see the ground ball to Mendoza, it's an easy pickup and throw over to first base, but looks a little bit different. And then going to LeBron with a runner on first, having to face LeBron with a runner on first with that kind of power, and Jim Schleifenhagel's going to make a move to the pen.
Ethan Walker does the job. He faces 2 lefties, gets them both out. And LeBron will have to wait for his at-bat as he hopes to have his Tide rally. Standing ovation for Walker. And Brett Crossland, the freshman, will come in to face Justin LeBron when we return. Arizona takes the mound. Brett Crossland, 6'5", 255 pounds. His teammates joke that he looks like he's 290 just with his frame on the mound and his presence. And what a presence he's been. 1-1 this season, an ERA of under 2, 21 strikeouts, just 5 walks in 14 2/3 innings of work.
Well, that stat line is impressive. I don't care what year you are. I mean, you start to look at that as he heads into his 14th appearance, but it's a hard fastball. It's an upper mid-90s fastball. He backs it up with 3 different types of breaker, and actually he's got a little cut ride on his fastball, but you're going to see a slider And then he has a bigger 12-6 breaker that he'll throw as well. It's got great bite to it, a changeup that he'll throw to both sides of the plate. I mean, it's a complete arsenal. And so for a hitter to try to get in there and face this, you almost got to X out some of that. Just go, I'm not going to, try to have to deal with that pitch, and just move to maybe a fastball or, that breaker. But when it lines up and he's synced up, the stats will speak to it. It's real stuff.
There was a lot of hype surrounding the freshman pitchers before the season, and they've exceeded it. Of course, Britt Crossland, Sam Cozart lead the way for the bullpen freshmen. An ERA of just over 3, a whip under 1, and over a 4 strikeout to walk ratio. Cozart got a 3-inning save last night. Crossland comes on with a 3-1 lead. 2 outs, top of the 8th, and Justin LeBron at the plate. A single in the first gave him a 9-game hit streak, hitting just over 300 during that time. But you see the 10 runs and the 8 stolen bases, including 3 last night here. 2-0. And of course, we've said it many times, his average is down from his previous 2 years. Hit .350 in his freshman All-American campaign 2 seasons ago. But leads the SEC, 4th in the nation in stolen bases, and one of the tops in the league in runs and those 12 home runs. Big cut, 2-1.
Cut right fastball he throws. It's got just enough at the bottom of it that can get off a barrel. And it's hard to kind of line up. Normal fastball you'd think's moving left to right from a right-hander, or straight with a four-seamer, and this one cuts just ever a little bit to get away from it going the other direction.
3-1. Crossland gave up a run April 10th at Texas A&M. First run allowed in 4 weeks. In between that 4-week span, appeared in 5 games, 4 versus SEC opponents. No runs allowed in 7 innings of work, striking out 11. Fouled off, and the count is full.
LeBron, anything you can do right now, base hit, walk, whatever, because you're chasing 2, right? You got Neal coming up behind you who's got power, and the ball will carry to right field today, much more than it's going to carry trying to blast one out here to left.
LeBron works the walk. He'll go to first with 2 down, and the tying run at the plate is Alabama's best hitter this season and this weekend in Brady Neal.
Now we've got a challenge too now between the 2 of them, between Crossland and LeBron and Tenney, as far as, even though you're down 2, that's your best base runner guy. You got to get, you're going to roll the dice and get him in a scoring position. Coach Schlossnagel's going to come out now. He's going to make a move. We'll see who they bring out of the pen. So the wheels are turning on both ends of it right now, offensively, defensively, and pitching.
Crossland just faces the one batter, and the man who was the closer to begin the season comes in with 2 outs in the 8th, and the tying run coming to the plate, Thomas Burns. More about him and his journey this year when we return. He's the big junior from Hortonville, Wisconsin. Comes on with 1 on, and the tying run coming to the plate with 2 outs in the top of the 8th in a 3-1 Texas lead. So really struggled before his last 2 appearances. 8 walks in 3 2/3, allowing 6 runs. But in his last 2 appearances, he has not walked anyone. And out of the 7 outs, 6 have been via the strikeout.
Now, that's a real fastball. I mean, it's a down angle 90 up to 99, 98. Not unusual when he goes extension sign, meaning when he goes to the first base side of home plate and he gets to carry that ball further, he can really rip those fastballs, and I think that's what they're trying to do here. We'll get a chance to see it, but I mean, we've got a tremendous matchup on both ends right here. We got LeBron at first base. Does he attempt to try to run? And then you've got Neil. I mean, look at him. He's got power with 7 home runs, I think, on the year, but the wind's carrying out to right, not to left. So here we go.
Brady Neal, team leader in batting average, hits, doubles, runs batted in. Also 7 home runs. His RBI double accounting for the only Alabama run so far today that came in the first. He's 1 for 2 with a walk. LeBron at first, 32 for 32, stealing bases. First pitch is a ball. I mentioned how many categories he leads the tight end in a 31-game on-base streak as well. At OPS over 1,100. One and one. There were questions after last season whether Brady Neal would come back, but deciding to come back to Tuscaloosa, and he's having his best year offensively. Swing and a miss, 1 and 2. 98 on the fastball.
Yeah, this is power on power right here. This is what he was brought in to do. They were going to try to use the fastballs. Now, I wouldn't be shocked if he goes an inline slider right here off that fastball he just threw. Now, Texas is going to move into a full shift, moving Becerra over to the right side as well.
Here's the 1-2. 2-2 the count.
That is downhill heat. And here we go again.
Neal stays alive. You saw the walks allowed by Burns. All those coming in March. First 4 games of the season, he allowed just 1 hit and struck out 13 his first 5 1/3 innings. Then the problems with his control, but no walks his last 3 outings coming in and trying to get Alabama's best hitter in Neal. The 2-2. Called strike 3.
I'm going to tell you what, it's just so much fun. I mean, there's a lot of going on out there on the field right there. It's some high drama in the SEC when you get down to the last 6 outs of a game. And they turn to a guy in Thomas Burns with a fastball that's going to reach up to 99, 98 miles an hour. And he reaches up, lets one go, and comes up with a big-time strikeout. they bring Thomas Burns in to end the inning as you get a look at back-to-back 98-mile-an-hour heaters on the inside part of the plate to come up with a big-time strikeout, and you can see a big smile coming off of Thomas Burns' face as he heads to the dugout to closing out the inning.
I'm sure you've had so many players, whether a hitter or a pitcher, such high expectations coming into a year, and then a great start, and then all of a sudden out of nowhere the adversity hits. And we mentioned the 8 walks over a 2 2/3 inning span for Burns, and how nice must that be? I think that's a look of relief also that he came in that high leverage spot, got the strikeout of Alabama's best hitter when his team needed it.
How about the first piece of the confidence is that your coaches trust you to get in there, right? So you've done something between these episodes you were just, talking about and describing to earn that right to get back in there, and they punched the right button. Because look, it's hard enough to hit a 98-mile-an-hour fastball, but when you put it on the inside of a left-handed hitter, I mean that's going extension side and adding a little extra, behind the baseball. But it's a big moment. He handled it, threw the ball in the strike zone. He executed pitches in big moments.
Ethan Mendoza was the only Longhorn not to hit in the 3-run 7th that gave Texas this 3-1 lead. He's looking to reach base for the first time today. Becerra, who got the 3-run frame started last inning with a walk, is on deck. Strike call.
Yeah, I'll layer up a little bit more on that Burns deal too, and your mindset is that they had the confidence to put him in there. I think every time he does that, that's just an extra layer of confidence for him moving forward.
That's fouled off. And despite what Burns was going through, if there's a blessing in disguise, it's perhaps getting Sam Kozar that closer's experience. Kozar got the save last night. He has 5 saves already in his freshman year.
I mean, somebody's going to really remind me he's a freshman. He just...
The second hot shot. Holt is there. Nice backhand and on to first. 1 down.
Ethan Mendoza hits this ball on the nose, and for Longhorn fans who get to watch a lot of these games and Mendoza hit, that's where a lot of his base hits are. So I mean that's a good at bat. Didn't get a base hit out of it, but he hits the ball hard. For Mitchell, he does a good job of crawling back into that count after falling behind. Last thing you want to do is walk somebody now going into the bottom of the 8th and create some front-end offense for the Longhorns.
And again, here's the man that got the 3-run 7th started, Tema Becerra. First pitch strike. Led off the inning with the walk, and after an Ashton Larson pop-up, Casey Borba walked, and Jaden Duplantier would knock in Becerra with a single to tie the game at 1. Carson Tinney gave the Longhorns a lead with a single that scored Borba, and Duplantier would score in an Adrian Rodriguez sac fly. One and 2.
If you look at it now, and if you're just joining us, or you see that it's a 3-1 game, and you may have missed the first couple of innings, Zane Adams was just really, really impressive today.
To the left side, and Torres on to first, and there's 2 down. Zane Adams over 100 pitches in his Alabama start. Shut out Texas through 6. The Longhorns were able to get to Matthew Heiberger and Sam Mitchell in the 7th. Texas looking to win the series if they can hold on here today. After, of course, losing both games of the Texas A&M series last weekend. Every SEC team has lost at least 1 series this year. Auburn came back to defeat Florida 8-5, so the Tigers won the last 2 games of the series in Gainesville. Texas A&M goes to Florida next weekend. But Auburn able to get those 2 wins to go to 10-8 in conference play, matching the Gators. Texas is getting their bullpen hot. From a distance, it looked like Kozart, and it is. As
You were just talking about he threw 3 innings last night. He's a big physical kid. I mean, look, those guys that are that physical, they can withstand that getting back-to-back days.
Jim Schlossnagle said without hesitation after the game last night that he could go to Kozar today, despite him throwing 39 pitches last night, 3 hitless innings, walking 1, striking out 5.
Well, he could. Looks like he would, or is.
Look out, Texas dugout, 2 in a row. Adrian Rodriguez jumped off at the top step. I think Aiden Robbins did as well.
One of the most exciting and unique places in the world is that dugout. Those dugouts are some of the most incredible happenings that you could imagine, and then some.
Larson's worked the count full. I don't think I have the attention span to be able to be in the dugout and make sure I keep my eyes on everything.
There's so much going on in there. There's so much more than what people may imagine, but
Larson swings and misses, and that'll do it in the bottom of the 8th. Texas looks to close it out and win the series. Longhorns up 3-1. For the longest time, Alabama kept the lead. It was Brady Neal in the first. This double scoring Bryce Fowler, who reached base on a 12-pitch walk. Alabama led 1-0 until the bottom of the 7th. Jaden Duplantier, his single, scoring Temo Becerra to tie the game at 1. Carson Tinney's single would score Casey Barber to make it 2-1, and then a sac fly off the bat of Adrian Rodriguez scored Duplantier for a 3-run frame, and that's all Texas has needed up to this point, a 3-1 lead as we head to the top of the 9th. Both starters brilliant. Zane Adams, 6 shutout innings starting for Alabama. Ruger Riojas, after giving up the run in the first, struck out 11 over 5. Aiden Robbins has continued his hot hitting at the plate with 3 singles, and despite the 7 runners left on base for Texas, they have a chance to close it out with Sam Kozart looking for his 2nd save in 2 days.
the freshman's going to go back to the mound again. They trust his stuff, obviously. He's a strike thrower with 4 different pitches. Starting with the power fastball. When he's fresh, it's up to 95, 96. A cutter, slider, and a bigger breaker that he'll use often enough. But here he finds himself out there for what would be maybe his 4th inning of work already in this series.
Again, 39 pitches last night, 3 hitless innings, the 1 walk, the 5 strikeouts. Eric Hines, the cleanup hitter, leads off. He has struck out all 3 times he's been at the plate, although he reached in the 4th on a wild pitch. 1-1 the count. Kozart saves in his last 4 appearances overall. 12 of the last 16 outs for him have been via the strikeout. One and 2.
fastball in the pitch before. Now that's a slider. That last pitch, a slider away. Fastball in, he got past him, and he was late to it. That speeds him up from a hitter's perspective.
Hines takes 2-2 the count. Against SEC competition coming in, Cozart has allowed 2 runs in 14 2/3 innings of work. He's allowed just 4 hits in that time against SEC competition. Swing and a miss. Hines strikes out for the 4th time today. 1 down.
Get another look at this breaker running away from Hines. See him get his fingers over the top. Look at that thing spinning from right to left. Starts in the hitting area and then goes away off the edge of the plate. Leads off the 9th with a strikeout.
17 strikeouts of Alabama hitters today, matching the total from last night. John Lem struck out his first 2 times up against Ruger Riojas, but drew a walk to lead off the 7th, yet he was left. This is ripped to right. Home run distance, will it stay fair? Foul ball.
I don't know how many people are in here, but everybody's eyes, everybody just stopped. It was almost complete silence. I mean, he just buggy whips this ball out to right field. It was just a matter if the wind was going to allow it to stay fair or not. It wasn't about the distance.
Lamb so close to his 6th homer of the year, but the wind blowing that way blew it foul. The 1-1 pitch, though, just misses, and it's 2-1. Right in there, 2-2.
And that's the right call, too. Sometimes umpires won't call strikes. The ball bounces out of a catcher's glove. They'll hesitate, but that was a strike. Taney just missed it, trying to make sure he kept it in that strike zone area for the umpire to see.
Here comes the 2-2. Got him again. 18 strikeouts by Texas pitching today.
He hooked that cutter out of the park, so they go backdoor breaker, and then they come back with this little 93-mile-an-hour fastball just at the top of the strike zone. Can't get to the top of it or foul it off. It's an impressive riding 4-seam fastball from Cozart.
Those 18 strikeouts, a season high for Texas pitching. Purdy has 2 of them, 0 for 3 today, and an 0-1 count. Texas 1 strike away. Jim Schlossnagle said of Sam Cozart, reminds him of how Dylan Volantis was his freshman year. You always know what you're getting. He's been in control of his emotions and has thrown strikes all season. Perhaps 1 away from closing it out. Strike 3 called. Cozart strikes out the side. Texas wins the series.
Well, if you're interested, and if 3 innings the night before and 39 pitches were going to affect this young freshman going to the mound to close out a 2-run game against a really good Alabama SEC team, have no fear, because that just struck out the side for the last 3 outs. Number 25, number 26, and 27th out of a game, the 3 hardest to go get. And that freshman stepped up on the mound, comes up with the first strikeout, second strikeout. As you get to, I'm sorry, and the last strikeout, right down the heart of the plate.
8 strikeouts for Cozart this series in 4 innings of work. 36 strikeouts of Alabama batters in the first 2 games this weekend. Out of 6 SEC series, Texas has won 5 of them. They'll go for the sweep tomorrow, 1 o'clock Central, here on SEC Network Plus. Adrian Rodriguez and company had a rally. 3 runs in the 7th does it. Jaden Duplantier, one of the heroes, in the bottom of the 7th inning. 3-1 the Texas win. For Ty Harrington, I'm David Salzman saying so long from Austin. All games broadcast on the ESPN app.